a terrace under the starlight. Levin pulls the princess into his arms. He leans in and whispers in her ear, "Your Highness, a life without you. It's meaningless to me, so please don't run away again. And please look only at me." The princess's eyes waver. She calls out softly, "Your Grace." Levin's gaze drops. He speaks again. "That's not how you're supposed to act at all. In your hands just now, your whole body was shaking. You were sweating like you just run a marathon. At this rate." Levin's cheeks are slightly flushed, his eyes darting around. "Do you really think you can save the world? My name is Levin de Bowen. I am the Duke of this empire, and I am currently receiving seduction lessons from the princess herself. The goal is to prevent the end of the world. Naturally, because I was reincarnated into a dark and tragic BL novel, The Servant of Babylonia. The story revolves around Shanian, the one beloved by the dragon god. He is fought over by two obsessive lovers, the emperor of the Hellen Empire, Lexius, and the tyrant of the Bard Empire, Kalian. This love triangle escalates into a war just to win Shanian. In the end, the two obsessive men die in battle. Shanian, overwhelmed with guilt, ends his own life. The gods are enraged, and the world is destroyed. The novel ends there. To prevent that destruction, the princess and I have joined forces. The princess stands with her hands on her hips, glaring at Levin. How many more times do I have to say it? The original protagonist likes the obsessive type. So, as a man, I must become more attractive than those two lunatics. This is part of a secret plan to seduce Shanian. It's not enough that I was reincarnated into a dark BL novel. Now I have to seduce the male protagonist. But this plan has a fatal flaw. The princess shouts angrily, "Are you even listening?" Levin flinches. Sorry, that flaw is, I'm not a man at all. I am a woman. A duke who is a woman in disguise." Levin laughs nervously, scratching his cheek with a finger. Rosalind, what if someone finds out I'm a woman?" The princess's eyes flash with determination. She instantly draws a dagger. "Then you're dead." Silently and without a trace. Levin shivers in fear. The princess sheathes her dagger. "So practice is your only way to survive." Levin clenches his fists. "I'll do my best." "So how did a girl like me end up disguised as a man?" "It all started a long time ago. 30 years ago, on the day Duke Bowen died on the battlefield. I was born in the middle of storm. In the main hall, two nobles whisper to each other, "His Grace is really gone. Without a male heir, what will become of the Bowen family? We can only pray that the child about to be born is a boy." Painful screams come from the delivery room. Maids surround the bed. "Madam, just a little more effort." "It's almost here, madam. Please hold on." The cry of a baby is heard. The child is born. The head maid's expression turns grim. Is it a boy or a girl? The maid beside the head maid stammers. It's a girl." The baby's cries. The head maid's eyes are cold. Summon the magician immediately. The maid bows and accepts the order. "Yes, madam." The head maid stands and announces to everyone, "It is done. The Duchess died from childbirth after giving birth to a son. She resorted to using black magic to raise me as a boy. A normal baby would have gone mad. But I didn't, because I remember my past life." Baby Levin's eyes are wide. "Where is this? I was just an unemployed youth who couldn't find a job." Three women walk on a crosswalk carrying a cake. "It was the day I finally passed the entrance exam after years of studying." A blinding white light engulfs everything. A truck crashes into her. The cake scatters on the ground. "I died in a car accident. Then I woke up in a strange world as a baby." A voice said, crying so loudly it must be a boy. Baby Levin's eyes widened. "A boy." Someone holds the crying baby Levin. "Oh dear, what's wrong? I'm a girl." And just like that, my life as a noble woman disguised as a man began. I thought being born as the Duke's heir would mean a comfortable life. But the title of heir came with heavy expectations. The painful black magic became a daily routine. Cruel air training to the very end. I was forced to study endlessly and endure swordsmanship training. After becoming the head of the family, I never truly rested. I was sent to the battlefield and earned the title guardian of the border. Levin stands in full armor, holding a long sword. This isn't a path of flowers, it's a mud pit. And so, it was until I became an adult. "Your Grace." Levin sits at the head of a conference table, surrounded by nobles. A noble reports, "Viscount Anthony's heir has not yet been decided. My entire life has been lived not as a woman, but as a man." Levin holds a quill, writing on a document. "We have searched all the collateral branches, but there are no suitable candidates. What are you talking about? The Viscount has 7 daughters. Levin puts down his quill and looks up at the man. The atmosphere freezes instantly. Another noble complains in a low voice. Your Grace, how can you say such a thing? According to imperial law, women cannot inherit titles or property. A slight smile plays on Levin's lips. I was joking. You fell for it. I haven't laughed like that in a long time. Your Grace, what did you find so amusing? It's about family matters. If anyone found out I was a woman, I'd probably be stoned to death. Looking back, I really work hard, knowing nothing about this world. Levin closes his eyes and sighs in frustration. It's that time again. No wonder I'm so irritable. Why can't black magic solve this kind of problem? Even my voice has changed back to my real one. But the hardest part is that as time goes by, my body becomes more and more feminine. To conceal this with black magic, I must undergo an annual ritual. A knock comes from the door. A voice calls out, Your Grace, a merchant in a long robe requests an audience. Levin's body is enveloped in a black aura. This pain has never lessened. The merchant under the hood chuckles. You look like you're in a lot of pain. Want to hear an interesting rumor to distract yourself? Levin opens his eyes. A rumor? The merchant lowers his voice. There's only one princess in the royal family, right? The quiet and gentle one. They say she's gone mad. Levin is confused. The princess? I've seen her a few times when I visited the palace. She's not that kind of person at all. Something must have happened. Meanwhile, in the imperial palace, a maid reports to Lexius. She's been like this ever since her highness fell into the water. Lexius holds a quill. You mean Rosalind? The maid answers eagerly. Yes, your highness. She suddenly starts spouting nonsense, crying and laughing without any decorum. A smile touches Lexius's lips. I see. Perhaps I can use this as an excuse to recall Levin to the capital. Your highness. Lexius sits at his desk, a slight smile on his lips. This matter is too important for me to decide alone. Go and summon my old friend, Duke Bowen. Duke Bowen. Lexius folds his hands. To become a duke at such a young age with his abilities. Indeed, Levin stands in black armor, hand on his sword's hilt. Duke Bowen. He is undoubtedly the most capable person in the Empire today. He's been close to the crown prince since childhood. It's not strange to consult him. What truly bothers me is, Lexius smiles faintly, his eyes sharp, that he is a kingslayer. Your highness, please stop. 2 maids chase after her in the garden. How many times have I told you? Members of the royal family are not allowed to run. The princess runs on the lawn. Stop following me, damn it. The princess turns and shouts angrily. Stay away from me. The count silently gazes through the window. Her strange behavior has become a nuisance to the royal family. We could have even proposed a marriage to Duke Bowen. His eyes darken. The princess just came back from the brink of death. It can't be helped. Lexius leans back on his throne. He is indeed the ideal Grumiero, rich and noble. A marriage between the duke and the princess. The count stands before the desk. Yes, but count. Lexius's eyes narrow slightly. You seem to have a lot of free time lately to be interested in such matters. The count immediately bows his head. My apologies, I misspoke. The count's expression is grave. Even that gentle and harmless crown prince changes completely whenever Duke Bowen is mentioned. The emperors of the Hellen Empire throughout history have all been obsessed with something. Power, territory, love, without restraint, pure madness and obsession. And among all the emperors, the one praised as the greatest and wisest, Lexius the Ellen. He is carefully kind. People all say he will be different, but I have seen his current gaze once before. Lexius stood before the nobles and flatly refused. Go back. The legal age for conscription in the empire is 18. How dare you ask me to violate imperial law and send the young Duke Bowen to the battlefield? The nobles were speechless. In that moment, what was reflected in the crown prince's eyes was the madness hidden deep within his nature. Lexius's eyes were cold. One more word, and I will have him arrested for treason. Thinking back now, those who were present at that time all seem to have recently disappeared from the council. A few days later, Lexius and Levin sit facing each other. Levin rests his chin on his hand. What? Is the mad princess nickname real? He can't help but laugh out loud. Lexius's cheeks are slightly red as he gazes at him. Levin stops laughing. Sorry, did I laugh too much? You seem to care a lot. Lexius coughs lightly. No. Levin thinks. Why is his face so red? Levin asks, so what did Her Highness the Princess do to get a nickname like that? She used to be so gentle. Lexius's gaze lowers. Rosalind has been saying strange things I don't understand lately. Levin raises his cup and takes a sip. Like what? Lexius says with a hint of an amused smile. She said, I want my phone, and I want spicy chicken feet with soju. And fools don't prepare for a rainy day. Lexius picks up his wine glass. She also complained that things are too strict, asking if this was the Josian dynasty. Levin suddenly chokes, spraying out a mouthful of wine. Lexius asks with concern, are you all right? Levin covers his mouth, coughing. I'm fine. I just choked suddenly. Levin is shaken internally. Could it be that the princess was reincarnated like me? Besides the shock, he looks at Lexius's national treasure level face. Hearing those words from that face is just too jarring. Levin asks, Lexius, where is Her Highness the Princess now? Lexius replies, she's been confined to her quarters recently, so she should be in the palace. Why do you ask? Levin smiles slightly. I see. Then can I see her now? This is no time for this. I must talk to the princess. Lexius's expression turns serious. Levin, even you can't suddenly meet the princess alone like this. Levin takes a step closer. Why not? Lexius's cheeks flush. You seem even cuter than usual today. And no, that's not right. Unless we go together. Lexius touches his forehead. A private meeting between us at our age would cause a scandal. All right, this place is so conservative that it regulates the distance between unmarried men and women. If a princess and a duke were to meet alone, Lexius suggests, so I'll go with you as her older brother. We could take a walk while we're at it. No, I won't be able to talk about reincarnation that way. Levin grabs Lexius's arm. Wait, Lexius. Levin says urgently, His Majesty's health has been poor lately. Aren't you very busy? I must see the princess alone. You said you wanted to become a wise ruler. That requires studying. I'm really looking forward to it. Lexius's gaze is calm. Looking forward to it? Levin lets go of his hand. That's right, you're right. You took the bait. Lexius's lips curve upward. Lexius gently pinches Levin's cheek. Then I'll study hard. You have to praise me properly next time. Lexius continues. I'll say you're meeting the princess on official business. Levin's eyes light up. That's great. I just got so much water on my mouth. You just wipe it off for me. Lexius lets go and smiles. Well then, Levin, be careful on your way. Shaking off Lexius was a good idea. But the princess is confined to her quarters. Where could she have gone? Your Highness, she was just here. Where did she go? Levin walks down a palace corridor. It seems meeting the princess won't be easy. Sunlight filters through the leaves, casting dappled shadows. A voice comes from the bushes. Damn it, why can't I get through? Levin follows the sound and sees a pair of legs and pants, stuck and struggling in the bushes. That tone. Could it be the princess? Levin approaches. Do you need help, Your Highness? The figure in the bushes jumps in surprise. The princess bursts out of the bushes. You scared me to death. Levin looks her over. Wait, why is she dressed like that? Is she trying to escape? He notices the iron bars behind the hedge have been cut. The cut is smooth, as if filed down over a long time. She stares at Levin. Who is this person? Levin holds out his hand. Get up first. You'll catch a cold like this. The princess takes his hand and stands up. Ah, yes, thank you. The princess thinks to herself. I thought I'd succeed this time. Failed again, damn it. At times like this, I should order something spicy and sweet. I just want to eat tekbaki and then sleep. Spicy food is the best for stress relief. You really know your stuff. The princess beams. If you get the spiciest kind, the stress just melts away. The princess's eyes widen. You, how can you understand what I'm saying? Levin speaks in Korean. The current princess is Korean, right? I am too, so I can understand. Levin calmly explains. I remember my past life. The princess asks, past life? Levin continues. Yes, after I was in a car accident, I woke up in a baby's body. I thought it was fate and just lived on. The princess points at Levin's chest. You don't know where this is? Levin looks at the sky. I thought I was just reborn in the Middle Ages. Your Highness, how were you reincarnated? In a way, it might be better not to know, because I was transmigrated into a book. The princess's face turns pale. Into the body of a villain who gets her head chopped off by an obsessive maniac. Levin is bewildered. Into a book. Wait, so this is the world of a book? The princess holds up a finger. Oh, and also, this world is going to be destroyed soon. Levin's cheeks flush, his pupils trembling. Really? The world is going to be destroyed? The princess's story can be summarized as follows. This world is a novel called The Legend of Babylonia. The story begins with the Hellen Empire defeating the Bart Empire and taking Bahart's eighth prince, Shanian, as a hostage. Hellen's crown prince, Lexius, falls in love with Shanian, but Bahart's tyrant, Kalian, takes Shanian back. and wins his heart. Eventually, the love triangle between the three completely collapses. The two obsessive men kill each other. Shanian, feeling deeply guilty over this, chooses to take his own life. The problem is when Shanian, beloved by the gods, dies. The enraged gods destroy all of humanity. The story ends there. The princess's voice is filled with excitement. What do you think? The heart-wrenching love between three men is beautiful, isn't it? The princess puts her hands on her hips. So you understand now, right? The novel we've transmigrated into The Legend of Babylonia. Levin gives a dry laugh. Yes, but the fact that this is the world of a novel is still hard to believe. The princess leans in again. You're a reincarnator, and I'm a transmigrator. Isn't it interesting? Levin falls silent. The princess's story and mine are also personal truths. But there's one thing I can't accept. That Lexius, who is revered as a wise ruler, would start a war for love. Can I really believe the princess's words? Levin looks up. Your Highness, I have a question. The princess looks at Levin. Go ahead. Levin's expression is strange. I'm open-minded and can understand same-sex love. But he's confused internally. Obsessive top. BL, what kind of code is that? The princess looks dumbfounded. You don't know this genre? Levin is even more confused. What genre? A forest at sunset. Birds fly across the sky. Time passes. The princess talks on and on. Levin listens in silence. The princess excitedly pulls out a handwritten guide. I stayed up all night writing this. You have to read it. Levin takes the guide. But the cover reads, Characteristics of an Obsessive Top. Number 1, forced kissing. Number 2, confinement and threats. Number 3, isolation. Levin flips through the guide, his mind filled with doubt. Is this kind of content really okay? This can be called love? The princess clasps her hands, completely entranced. Such beautiful love. As long as we can secure the protagonist, Shanian, he won't get involved with the other tops. So the most realistic way to change the apocalyptic ending is to have someone else become an obsessive top and seduce Shanian first. Levin sits at his desk, flipping through the guide. He can't help but feel sorry for that unknown someone else. To put this kind of thing into practice. At that time, I didn't know that someone else would be me. A few days later, in the garden of the princess's palace, Levin is shocked. What? He touches his chest, trying to confirm. So you mean, you want me to become an obsessive top? The princess's smile is radiant. That's right. Why else would I have sent you to the ducal palace? To save the world, a new top must appear to seduce Shanian. No matter how I think about it, you are the most perfect candidate in the empire. The one and only Duke Bowen. Shanian, meanwhile, has a flushed face, his hands clasped to his chest. The princess continues to explain, and the delicate Shanian worships strength. It's a perfect match. I never expected it. That the princess would choose me to be the new protagonist. First of all, I'm a woman. How can this possibly be BL? Wait, I'm dressed as a man right now. I see. That's why the princess would make such a ridiculous suggestion. In that case, Levin's expression turns serious. I'm afraid this proposal is a bit difficult. He confesses a secret fact. I'm not a man, but a woman. The princess is incredulous. What? I know you don't want to do it, but you can't just make up a lie like that. Levin explains, it's not a lie. I used black magic to change my appearance. Whether in my past life or this one, I have always been a woman. The princess is thunderstruck, her pupils shaking. Really? Black magic? There's a setting like that? She stammers. Then, you're not my older brother, but my older sister? Levin chuckles lightly. It's been a long time since anyone called me older sister. The princess falls into thought. No wonder. Lexius's personality is completely different. Could it be because these settings have changed slightly? Levin asks in confusion. Lexius? The princess explains. In the original novel, he was very cold and selfish. A complete madman. The princess and Levin look at each other. In no way. I was also surprised by the contrast. Could it be that our kind Lexius is really a madman? Lexius, cheeks slightly flushed, declares confidently, Levin, I will become a wise ruler. Levin is resolute internally. No, the Lexius I know couldn't be like that. He's the kindest, most soft-hearted friend I know. The princess rests her chin in her hand, lost in thought. Since we've both crossed over, it's clear the original story has already started to change. Maybe Lexius has changed too, but that's not important right now. The princess grips Levin's hand tightly. I know you're not a man. This mission is a heavy burden, but everyone thinks you're a man, and the only one who believes I'm a transmigrator is you, my older sister. So please, become the world's coolest, fake, obsessive top, and then save the world. We have about 5 years until the protagonist, Shanian, arrives here. There's still plenty of time. The princess's cheeks are slightly flushed as she looks at Levin with anticipation. Sister, let's do this together. Only you can do it. I'll do my best to help you too. Levin's expression is complicated, her heart in turmoil. What should I do? This sudden story has thrown me into chaos. But if what the princess says is true, this world will soon be destroyed. That also means I have no future. I've struggled to live as a man until now. I can't let it all end meaninglessly. There's only one answer. Levin looks up, a flash of determination in her eyes. I understand, Your Highness. I don't have confidence, but I'll try. The princess is overjoyed. Really? No takebacks. She raises her teacup. Then, to our new partnership. Cheers. Levin and the princess clink their cups in the garden. And so, the secret alliance to save the world began. However, Levin is about to add sugar to his tea. Time to relax with a cup of tea. The princess suddenly grabs Levin's wrist. Sister, an obsessive top doesn't put sugar in his tea. The princess then quickly takes away the dessert on Levin's plate. An obsessive top doesn't eat sweets either. The princess closes her eyes, her face serious. Don't make that kind of expression. An obsessive top should have a cold, cool, and aloof persona. It seems you need some acting lessons. Let's start with the basics. Levin's face darkens. I feel like maybe we should just forget it. Becoming an obsessive top is much harder than I imagined. One night, a few days later, moonlight shines through bare branches. Footsteps echo. Levin walks through a secret passage. It's already surprising enough that the Imperial Palace has secret passages. I didn't expect there to be such a spacious place. He follows the princess through a huge blue space. The walls and windows emit a faint blue glow. Levin can't help but ask, how do you know about a place like this? The princess takes off her cloak. I know about this place because 5 years from now, Shanian will live here. This is the Cold Palace. The princess hands something to Levin. Here, sister. Levin takes it. It's a wooden training sword. The princess peeks out from under her cloak. In return for me teaching you the obsessive top course, you promised to teach me swordsmanship. Her eyes are determined. I'm going to change my own future. Let's start now. Levin smiles helplessly. All right, in the original story, the princess is destined to be executed as a villain. To avoid our mutual death endings, the princess decided to learn swordsmanship from me, and I decided to learn the seduction techniques of an obsessive top from her. A few minutes later, in the main hall of the Cold Palace, Levin holds a long sword, looking at the princess, collapsed on the floor. It seems you should work on your stamina before swordsmanship. The princess pants, out of breath. Then shouldn't we start the obsessive top lesson first? Levin agrees. Fine, let's do that. The princess suddenly cups Levin's face. All right, now for the question. If Shanian gets close to you like this, what should you do? Levin is a bit flustered. I caress his cheek too? The princess pinches Levin's cheek. Too weak. Levin tries again. Then I'll hug him tightly. He stiffly hugs the princess. The princess looks displeased in his arms. Wrong. You didn't read the guide. The princess's face flushes. You should grab him more forcefully or kiss him. Levin stammers. How can I kiss you? The princess shouts angrily. Again, too weak. You need to be more possessive. If I suddenly hug him, he'll feel uncomfortable. The princess insists. Don't worry. Hug me tightly. A figure hides behind a pillar. He watches this scene in horror. What did I just see? I just came over because I saw suspicious movement in the Cold Palace. Why are those two here? From the shadows, it looks like Levin is embracing the princess. The princess looks shy and bashful. The figure is conflicted. Should I report this to the crown prince? Lexius sits behind his desk, listening to a morning report. A man kneels on one knee. My report is complete, subordinate. The quill in Lexius's hand suddenly stops. A drop of ink spreads on the paper. His pupils contract slightly. What? Lexius slowly raises his head. A flash of coldness passes through his eyes. What did you just say? At 1 a.m, the princess and the duke met secretly in the Cold Palace. Lexius looks up and asks, is this information accurate? 3 black-haired men answer affirmatively. Yes, it's completely accurate. What should we do now? Should we continue to monitor them closely? He must be shocked that it's about the princess. I never thought such a gentle person would make that kind of expression. Lexius's eyes are cold. No, it's fine. What if Levin finds out? The Lexius that Levin knows is naive to the point of being foolish. He wouldn't do something like this. I don't want to betray my friend, nor do I want to disappoint him. Also, if Levin discovers my feelings for him, Lexius We're both men. What do you mean you like me? Levin's question echoed in his mind. I can't imagine a future like that. I must hide these feelings completely. The voice of a subordinate brought him back to his senses. Your Highness, Lexius came to. Sorry, I was lost in thought. The Empire's greatest duke and the princess have fallen in love. For now, let's just let them be. This is a good thing. But how much longer must I hide these feelings? Time flew by, and 5 years passed in a flash. During this time, Lexius ascended to the throne. The sound of clashing blades was incessant. Levin and the princess were sparring in the snow. The princess's swordsmanship has improved, enough to parry my sword. The princess slipped with a cry. Levin instantly reached out and held her waist steady. The ground is slippery. Be careful. The princess blushed, leaning against Levin's chest. Thank you, Duke. Levin looked down at her. Your Highness, do you know? He picked up a strand of the princess's golden hair. The scent of violets on you. Levin brought the strand to his nose. That always drives me crazy. The princess's cheeks flushed red. She called out softly, Duke, your obsessive persona acting is passable. My heart is racing. Levin felt a surge of inner joy. Really? My acting is okay? Of course. 5 years of practice weren't for nothing. Levin's eyes sparkled. Really? That's great. I can stop now. You can take a little break now. I've long said that I've raised a monster. This was the result of their 5 years of special training. Perfect. A few hours later, night fell. The Duke's residence was brightly lit. I can't believe it's already been 5 years. Time flies. The princess sat on the sofa. Yeah, for me it's been 32 years. You treat the cold palace like your own room. The princess, dressed in comfortable casual clothes, spoke lightly. Well, no one bothers me here, and I don't have to wear uncomfortable dresses. To be honest, it's more comfortable than my room in the Imperial Palace. She suddenly remembered something. That's right. The novel is about to begin. Shanian is coming to the cold palace. Are you that happy? The princess rested her chin in her hands, hearts appearing in her eyes. Of course I'm happy. He's my third favorite. I wonder how beautiful he'll be. Levin turned his head to look at her. Third favorite? Didn't you used to say Shanian was your first favorite? The princess smiled slyly. A woman's heart is fickle, you know. My number one favorite changed a long time ago. Levin raised an eyebrow. The princess announced mysteriously, it's a secret. A very cool and kind person. Levin looked at her, confused. Why are you looking at me like that? The princess changed the subject. Anyway, according to the original plot, the war is about to break out soon. Levin recalled the plot of the book. Shanian appears as a captive of the Hellen Empire. It's that war. Levin's expression darkened. He remembered the male lead from the book, Kalian, deliberately letting the Hellen Empire win. But for some reason, he always felt a sense of unease. The princess poked Levin's cheek. You don't have to look so serious. It's just a war. Levin grabbed her wrist. What do you mean, just? I'm the commander-in-chief of the army. How can I not care? The protagonist won't even show up. What's the big deal? But after becoming a sword master, my intuition has never been wrong. The princess suddenly shouted, Sister, stop it. You're making me anxious too. She immediately quieted down. Okay, I'll stop. Yes, Rosalind has never been wrong. No need to worry anymore. This unease is just unnecessary anxiety. The Bart Empire's imperial palace was bathed in golden light. The emperor of the Hellen Empire died early. The crown prince has already ascended the throne, and I am still just the crown prince. Kalian leaned lazily on the sofa, his chest bare. An elderly man with silver hair bowed. Your Highness Kalian, if you're worried about the third prince and the Grand Duke vying for the throne, why not declare war on the Hellen Empire and push them to the front lines? A playful smile touched Kalian's lips. You want them to kill each other? The old man answered affirmatively. Yes, as long as we are behind them, promoting the Grand Duke whose position in the military is stable. The Grand Duke, in order to solidify the second prince's position, will definitely take the inexperienced second prince to the front lines. That's right. Even with the Grand Duke's help, for a prince who knows nothing about tactics, the result is obvious. A vicious glint flashed in the old man's eyes. Yes, at that time, we will use black magic to kill them and disguise it as death in battle. We can dispose of them without anyone knowing. The old man added, besides, even if the plan goes awry, the famous Duke Levin is at the border. They have no chance of survival. In that case, things might be resolved faster than I imagined. Kalian closed his eyes and thought. My spy planted in the Hellen Empire. He was interrupted by a commotion. What's all this noise? Kalian opened his eyes. Who is that child? A group of women surrounded a young boy. Lord Shanian, you are so beautiful. Even if we searched the entire continent, we wouldn't find anyone more beautiful than you. The old man introduced him to Kalian. That is the 8th prince, Lord Shanian. Shanian, the old man continued. Yes, he seems to grow more beautiful by the day. It's a miracle that weak child with no backing is still alive. Kalian sat up straight. What should I do with that useless member of the royal family? He's pretty, though. He'd probably sell well to the barbarians. The old man looked horrified. You can't do that. He is a prince, after all. Kalian was unmoved. So what? The old man immediately proposed a new plan. Why not send him to the Hellen Empire as a captive? The 8th prince, Shanian, is famous across the continent for his beauty. He has even been trained on how to serve in bed. It's just that he has no backing in the palace and is isolated. We can have him infiltrate the Hellen Empire as a prisoner of war and become a spy. A calculating glint flashed in the old man's eyes. If we make good use of him, we can shake the very foundation of the Hellen Empire. According to rumors, the princess of the Hellen Empire and Duke Levin are quite close. Before they can form an alliance through marriage, we can send Lord Shanian to seduce them. Hearing this, a cold smile spread across Kalian's lips. A marriage alliance between the royal family and a ducal house. If the Hellen Empire's imperial power strengthens because of this, my position after I ascend the throne will be threatened. The old man's eyes shone with confidence. Whether it's the crown prince or the duke, as long as Shanian is determined to seduce them, he will surely succeed. Kalian proposed a plan. Then send the pretty prince to Duke Levin's side. If the duke is bewitched by him and defects to the Bard Empire, that would be even better. The old man was aghast. What are you saying? How can we bring an enemy duke to our country? Kalian retorted. As the youngest genius sword master, wouldn't he be a help to our empire? Besides, I want to test my skills against him personally. That's right. Perhaps I should also take a trip to the Hellen Empire. The old man's face paled. You can't be thinking of participating in the war yourself. If the second prince and the Grand Duke die on the battlefield, you will be the first to be suspected. Kalian burst out laughing. Ha ha ha. Why are you so surprised? He wiped the smile from his face, his eyes turning cold. I can go in secret. Imperial Palace Garden. Sunlight streamed through the pavilion pillars, falling on a long table covered with a floral cloth. Tea rippled in delicate porcelain cups. 2 maids whispered in the distance. Look over there. The Duke is here again today. The princess and the Duke must be dating. That's right. Look at the Duke's gaze. It's practically dripping with honey. Levin's gaze was tenderly fixed on the princess opposite him. To receive the love of someone as handsome as Duke Bowen. The princess fanned herself, her cheeks flushed, her eyes filled with unconcealable joy. I'm so envious of the princess. The princess turned to Levin and whispered, Sister, look, everyone is convinced we're dating. A smile played on Levin's lips. Yes, just as you said. The princess folded her hands on the table, a cunning glint in her eyes. Great. Then now, it's time to start our plan to save the world. Soon, the rumor of the princess and the duke spread throughout the palace. And Rosalind, upon hearing the rumor, devised a new plan. A plan was spread out on the table. The title was clearly visible, Plan to Seduce Shanian with Sympathy. The plan was simple. First, the princess, who is dating the duke, has an affair with another man behind the duke's back. The duke is devastated by this, showing his vulnerability in front of Shanian. The soft-hearted Shanian comforts the duke. The duke's heart is swayed, and he turns his attention to Shanian. Your Highness, please look only at me. Oh, okay. The duke begins to obsessively pursue Shanian. In the end, Shanian falls in love with the duke, who is infatuated with him. This way, the world-destroying ending can be avoided. The princess smiled brightly. The plan is ready. Now it all depends on your acting, sister. You have to practice a lot, you know? I'll do my best. Levin's expression was grave, his eyes downcast. First an obsessive male lead, and now I have to play a tragic male lead. Can I really do this? This is tricky. Levin was mentally and physically exhausted. Meeting with Rosalind was fun, but all this acting was too draining. He sighed and leaned against a tree trunk. Maybe I'll rest for a bit. Levin closed his eyes. Sunlight filtered through the leaves, dappling his face. How pleasant. Footsteps crunched on the grass. Levin opened his eyes. You're here, Lexius. Lexius stood before him, dressed in magnificent clothes. "Hello, Levin. Weren't you sleeping?" Levin patted the empty space beside him. "I was just resting my eyes." "Come and sit." Lexius approached. "But your insomnia, it's not better yet?" A hint of worry showed in his eyes. Levin forced himself to remain calm. "No, I don't have insomnia." But alarm bells were ringing in his mind. How does he know I have insomnia? This is my personal habit. As a man, I couldn't escape war since I was young. From the first time my hands were stained with blood, I could never sleep peacefully again. The souls of the dead always scream in my dreams. But to survive, I can only endure it. "Levin." Lexius's voice pulled him back to reality. "Levin." His hand reached out and gently caressed Levin's cheek. "You're safe here, so rest easy." Lexius's eyes were gentle, a smile on his lips. Levin froze, a strange sensation on his cheek. "If you're tired, come lie down and sleep. I grant you the honor of using the Emperor's lap as a pillow." Levin was stunned. "What? Okay, then I'll graciously accept this honor." Levin lay down without hesitation, resting his head on Lexius's lap. "Ah, this is comfortable." Levin closed his eyes, enjoying the momentary peace. Rosalind should be with someone this gentle and considerate. Even though we're just pretending to be a couple, I can't help but feel sorry for her. Isn't there anyone else? Levin's eyes suddenly opened. That's right, there was that one person before. The eldest son of the Duke of Mars family. A family that has served as prime minister for generations. The young Duke Joseph. He's mature, steady, and handsome. Very popular among the noble ladies. He's the future Duke. Lexius's hand gently patted Levin's head. "Sleep. Great. I must tell Rosalind about him next time." Levin's eyelids fluttered, maybe because everything is settled, and the sun is so warm. For the first time in a long while, I think I can actually fall asleep. Levin's consciousness gradually faded as he drifted into sleep. Lexius gently stroked Levin's hair. 4 or 5 years, I've ignored the rumors about the princess. After all, I was powerless. But now, you're here by my side like this. This is enough. Lexius's hand paused on Levin's forehead. A figure knelt on one knee behind him. "Your Majesty, I have something to report." Lexius slowly opened his eyes, his gaze cold. "I gave an order. No one is to come near here." The subordinate was terrified. "But there is an urgent telegram that needs to be delivered. We received a telegram that the Bard Empire's army is advancing towards Count Heisen's territory." Lexius was expressionless. "You came to me for such a small matter? Just send reinforcements." The subordinate's voice trembled. "But in the Bard Empire's army, someone saw the figure of Prince Kalian. Kalian Bart, the one known for his brutality. He came in person." Lexius looked at the sleeping Levin. "Kalian is a swordmaster. Levin will definitely insist on fighting him personally." He knew all too well about Levin's post-war trauma. Those nightmares have never stopped. "I can't let him know." Lexius's eyes were resolute. "Make sure this news does not reach Levin's ears." 2 days later, in a palace corridor, Levin walked hurriedly. "Heisen's territory is under attack. Lexius won't let me dispatch troops. I am the guardian of the border." Levin stood outside the Emperor's chambers, his tone resolute. "I have urgent matters to discuss with His Majesty." "Open the door." The guard bowed his head in apology. "I'm afraid I cannot. His Majesty has ordered that you, Duke, are not to enter." Levin was incredulous. What? Not only did Lexius hide the fact that the territory was attacked, but now he's even refusing to see me. What on earth is he thinking? Kalian participating in the war is already a deviation from the original story. The situation has become unpredictable. To ensure Shanian is captured according to the original plot, I must participate myself and secure a victory. Levin clenched his fists. The situation is urgent. Your Majesty, the command system in Heisen's territory is in chaos. You know how strong the Bar Crown Prince is. That's precisely why I must go myself. For the safety of the Empire, please allow me to dispatch troops. Let Duke Bowen in. Levin strode in, looking directly at Lexius, who was seated on the throne. "Lexius, what is the meaning of this?" Levin questioned. "Why did you exclude me from the army to subjugate Kalian? You know full well I'm the only one who can stand against him." Lexius stood up, his eyes filled with suppressed pain. "If you go to the battlefield again, you'll only fall back into misery." Levin's pupils contracted. "What did you say?" Lexius sighed. "Fine, I permit you to go to war." Levin looked astonished, momentarily speechless. Lexius's voice was icy. "Living the Bowen, as you wish." Levin shuddered. His aura and voice have completely changed. This is the Lexius from the original novel that I've heard about. Just as Rosalind said, it's terrifying. Levin's body stiffened. I'll go prepare for the expedition first. The situation is urgent. We'll talk later. Lexius watched his retreating back. Levin, don't hate me too much. Levin stopped abruptly. Wait, his voice is trembling. Levin's eyes widened. Could it be? A flash of sadness crossed Lexius's eyes. A tear rolled down his cheek. Levin rushed forward and grabbed Lexius's arms. What are you saying? How could I possibly hate you? I'm just worried the soldiers will get hurt. So don't cry. Levin. Lexius raised his hand and gently wiped away the tear from the corner of Levin's eye. This isn't like the you from before. Levin was at a loss for words. Lexius continued, whenever I cried, you would always hold me and comfort me. That's right, the young Lexius was a crybaby. That part doesn't seem to have changed. Lexius's lips curved slightly. You're right, I'm still that same crybaby Lexius. So you'll comfort me again, won't you? Levin's cheeks flushed. What am I thinking? It's like he's flirting with me. Levin took a deep breath. I am Lexius's best friend. I should comfort him. This is definitely not to satisfy myself. Levin leaned down and gently hugged Lexius. Of course, we're the closest of friends, after all. Levin, you're leaving at dawn today to see Count Kisen, right? MHM, that's the plan. The knights on the battlefield will be waiting for me. Lexius whispered then, stay here tonight, Levin. The night is already late. The palace was silent in the night. Levin lay on the bed, propping his head up with one hand. Lexius sat at his desk, a quill scratching against paper. What on earth am I doing here? Ever since we were children, I've had no resistance to Lexius's tears. Lexius stopped writing. You're leaving at dawn, aren't you? His lips curved upwards. Why are you looking at me like that? Go to sleep, Levin. Levin hugged a pillow. What about you? It's already past midnight. Lexius's gaze returned to his documents. I'm Euphine. I still have a lot of work to do. Levin lay back down on the bed. All right, but don't overdo it. How could someone so dedicated to the Empire be called an obsessive maniac? Poor Lexius. A moment later, Levin was already asleep. Lexius gazed at Levin's sleeping face. Lexius's fingertips lightly touched his own lips. Levin is sleeping in my bed. This is more stimulating and irresistible than I imagined. Lexius clapped his hands together. No, Lexius, get a grip. I should focus on my work. Under the morning sun, the next day, Levin, cloaked, led the Bowen Knight Order towards the border city. After 4 consecutive days of travel, the troops finally arrived at Count Kisen's territory. A guard on the city wall shouted, even a support knight order has to pay the toll. If you don't have money, get lost. A knight turned to Levin. Your Grace, what should we do? We've been riding without rest. Levin looked up at the wall. Hey, you up there. Levin pulled down his hood. Do I look like an ordinary knight? The guards on the wall looked at each other. What's that guy saying? He seems pretty confident. One guard narrowed his eyes. Wait, that gray hair. Could it be? Isn't that Duke Levin de Bowen? The guard's pupils shrank. What? Levin's gaze was sharp. I will not tolerate any more disrespect. Stop dawdling and open the gate immediately. The guards on the wall were in a panic. It's really him. I heard he wasn't participating in this war. Quick, open the gate. The gate slowly rose. Levin spurred his horse forward. All right, everyone, let's go in. Levin led the knight order through the gate. The knights were talking amongst themselves. As expected of the Duke, he solved it in an instant. Levin's expression was grim. They're this stingy, even with allied support. I can't imagine what it's like inside, to have to lead a place like this. The soldiers inside the city noticed them. Look over there. A knight order has arrived. A soldier recognized the person in the lead. Wait, could that person be? Levin drew his sword and raised it high. My friends, you've done well. You have defended well against the enemy's attack. Now I, Levin de Bowen, the guardian of the border, will fight alongside you. This war will surely end in our victory. The soldiers cheered wildly. The guardian of the border, the sword master is here. We're sure to win. Levin, with his back to the crowd, stood stiffly. So cringe. He recalled Rosalind's words. She said I have to maintain a cool image at all times. If I want to save the world, even my breathing has to be cool. Levin suppressed his discomfort. But does Shanian really like this kind of thing? It's so Chinibu. Still, Rosalind said the original plot is about to start. Outside the castle, a white-haired man sat on the edge of a cliff. He gazed into the distance. That person is Duke Bowen. It's too far to see clearly, but Shanian rested his chin in his hands to be able to rally people's hearts in an instant. He's so much cooler than the rumors say. Shouts came from the distance. Where did the 8th prince run off to? Spread out and search. Shanian turned, his eyes sharp. I want to see more of his splendor, but escaping is the priority now. Shanian took off running. Levin didn't know that he had already succeeded in capturing Shanian's attention without realizing it. It's the Hussein family's assault. Another soldier shouted, "Use your equipment to shield the third prince. Where are the reinforcements?" A messenger ran towards Levin. "Your Highness, Second Prince, we just received news that Duke Bowen has joined the battle." The second prince's face changed drastically. "What? The Duke? Why is he here?" The soldiers surrounded the third prince. "Then please leave the battlefield to us. Retreat to a safe area." The second prince's eyes wavered. You're right. I can't deal with a sword master anyway." A prince running away just because a sword master appeared. What a good show. The soldiers glared at the hooded man. "Who the hell are you? How dare you be so disrespectful to His Highness?" The hooded man yanked off his hood. "I'll handle things here. You coward, get lost," revealing short black hair and red eyes. "Gah, Kalian, what are you still standing there for? I told you to get lost." The second prince stammered, then, "I'll be leaving now." He hurriedly led his horse over, preparing to leave. A playful smile touched Kalian's lips. "I finally have a chance to meet the famous Duke Bowen. I've always been curious. Just what kind of person could make the proud Emperor of Helen favor them so much?" Hoofbeats kicked up dust on the battlefield. "What's hidden under that helmet?" Kalian gave a wicked smile. "Soldiers, just fighting is a bit boring, isn't it? How about we make a bet? Whoever can take off Duke Bowen's helmet or leave any kind of wound on him." The soldiers cheered. "Duke Bowen is over there. Take off his helmet." In the distant mountains, smoke filled the air. The clash of blades was incessant. Levin raised his sword and shouted, "We have the upper hand, don't retreat." The enemy soldiers scrambled over each other. "It's the Duke. I'll do it." Levin looked back, confused. What on earth is going on? This is too strange. Weren't they just running away? Why are they all suddenly rushing at me? A sword suddenly flew through the air, embedding itself straight into a soldier's helmet. The helmet rolled to the ground. The enemy erupted in cheers. The soldiers were in an uproar. Levin was astonished. What is going on? Unbelievable. Just for a chance to leave a scratch on me, they're this excited? Kalian, watching from afar, froze. He let out a soft breath. Strange. It's as if a spotlight is shining only on him. What is this feeling? Kalian's lips slowly curved upwards, his gaze turning feverish. "Ah, that's right. This is what I want." Levin sat up abruptly on the bed, his head splitting. "They're usually too scared to even come near me. So today they were all after my head." Levin rubbed his eyes. The battle is over. So next, we should discuss how to deal with the Empire's corruption. A den of thieves. There must be some misunderstanding. Lord Hisson was terrified. Levin stood up. "A misunderstanding? We investigated why a war that should have ended in half a day dragged on for over a week. We discovered that you used your own soldiers as shields. All the evidence points to you." Lord Hisson shuddered. "No impossible. Please let me explain." Levin leaned in close. "What? The story of how you used your own men as human shields? Or the story of how you betrayed the Empire and defected to Helen?" "Duke, there's an urgent message." Levin turned and asked, "What is it?" The messenger reported with a tense expression, "Bard has lost and is proposing a treaty." The message announces that the representative for the delegation will be Helen's Kalian. Levin's pupils shrank. Kalian. Night fell. The palace was brightly lit. Levin lay exhausted on the sofa. He sighed deeply. What now? The third prince ran away, and Bart surrendered. This is all good. Levin rested his forehead in his hand, deep in thought. But the person in charge of the treaty is Kalian, a demon who would kill a child for Shanian without hesitation. After all, he inherited true demon blood. Levin was agitated. "I'm not ready to meet him." "Are you really going to meet the Duke dressed like that? Are you trying to seduce him?" "I sold all my clothes and jewelry to buy weapons. I have to go." "So what? Should we let the villagers go to the battlefield empty-handed?" "You should marry a high-ranking noble for the sake of the family." "Fine, I'll try." Levin leaned against the door. Did he just tell her to seduce me? Just for that small property she inherited. I should really kick him out after the interrogation. Trying to use his sister to atone for his own sins. A knock came from the door. "Duke, are you there?" Levin turned and opened the door. "Yes, what is it?" Standing outside wasn't a messenger, but a red-haired woman. "Duke, may I come in for a moment?" Levin's pupils contracted sharply. "Wait, isn't she Levinsto Jehasht Spoon Rapidly, the main villain from the novel Demagy? She has long, orange-red hair and a proud, cat-like beauty. The most vicious villain." Levin touched his forehead. "I'm very sorry, I'm tired. Perhaps another time." Levin's mind was in turmoil. This aggressive approach. This is a true villain. Levin wanted to push Demaji away. Miss, this is really inappropriate. I'm already engaged to the princess. Demaji gripped Levin's arm tightly. Duke Bovin. She suddenly fell to her knees, pleading, please, innocent people are dying. Please help the Hussein family. Demaji looked up with teary eyes. If I want to stop my father and brother, I need the support of someone as powerful as you. Levin looked at the kneeling Demaji. Miss Demaji, the one who wanted to kill the female lead out of sheer jealousy, and who betrayed everyone just to survive. I will become your mistress, or anything you want, as long as... Levin's expression grew complicated. The novel's true villain is kneeling here begging me. Levin's heart wavered. Maybe I've been wrong all along. I might be a woman disguised as a man, but she has her own difficulties too. Maybe Demaji became a villain just to protect the villagers from the Count. I can't turn a blind eye to this anymore. Levin helped Demaji up. I have no intention of making you my mistress. A spark of hope lit up in Demaji's eyes. Duke, please reconsider. Levin looked straight at her. But becoming partners is another matter. Levin took Demaji's hand. Please stand up. Demaji looked up. What do you mean? Levin gazed at her gently. It means I will stand with you, and I ask you to stand with me. Demaji's eyes were filled with shock. Stunt, with you? A smile appeared on Levin's face. Since we're allies now, let's start by getting revenge on the person who made you kneel. No. In the office of the head of the Hessin family, he was smugly calculating. If my sister successfully seduces the Duke, perhaps the turmoil of this war can be settled. A cold voice sounded behind him. Or would you rather be settled yourself? The head of the Hussein family turned around in fear. Sister, how dare you? Levin stood with his arms crossed, looking coldly at the head of the Hussein family. Duke. Levin's tone was flat. Count, I've been running around the battlefield. The corner of his mouth lifted slightly. And yet you're here, strolling around as if on vacation. The head of the Hussein family quickly explained. And no, that's not it. Levin's smile turned dangerous. Oh, it seems you have a lot of free time. Then you can come and serve me personally. Serve you? How could I do such a menial task? Serve me. Levin slammed a foot onto the table. Levin looked down at him. Is it a menial task? Levin's eyes were cold. Or were you planning to have your sister, Miss Demaji, do that menial task? Don't you know about my relationship with Her Highness the Princess? The head of the Hussein family's face turned pale. That is. So you wanted to use this scheme to cause a conflict between me and the royal family. The head of the Hussein family waved his hands frantically. No, you misunderstood. I just wanted to help you relieve your fatigue. Levin smiled faintly. Is that so? Then I'd like you to serve me. My skin is very sensitive, so I always use fresh mountain spring water. Levin raised a finger. So, morning, noon, and night, you will go to that stream to fetch water. His gaze followed Levin's finger into the distance. The stream? It's a 2-hour walk. Levin lowered his gaze. You can refuse if you're unwilling. The head of the Hussein family trembled all over. No, I'll do it. The door burst open. What are you doing? Demaji's cheeks were slightly flushed. I couldn't help myself. More importantly, I hope you are satisfied with tonight. Levin's hand rested on the doorknob. By the way, miss, did you know? Know what? Your brother, the Count, has already fallen into the hands of the Bart Empire's crown prince, Kalian. Demaji took a panicked step back. What? What do you mean by that? I discovered that Kalian wants to use this war to eliminate his country's third prince, so he can ascend the throne more easily. To do that, he needed an inside man in the Hellen Empire. So he bribed the notoriously greedy Count, who is your brother. Demaji's pupils contracted. I had no idea. Levin's tone softened. I'm not blaming you, Mississippi. But if the royal family finds out about this first, your family will be branded as traitors and completely wiped out. Demaji clasped her hands tightly to her chest. She felt cold all over. Wiped out. Levin's gaze was gentle. Since you're on my side, I want to protect you and the Count's estate. So, Levin held out his hand. Help me. Help me find the evidence of Count's betrayal. I will take full responsibility and protect your family. Demaji's body trembled. What should I do? I can trust the Duke, but a person who would push innocent people to their doom for his own greed. Demaji's hand rested on Levin's. Her gaze became determined. Yes, Duke, I trust you. I will help. That day, their pact was made. Sunlight filled the military tent. Levin sat at a desk, looking through a stack of documents. Miss Demaji is more capable than I expected. With this evidence, I can pressure Kalian directly. A voice spoke up. A pleasure to meet you, Duke Bovin. Kalian's lips curvaient upward, exuding en overwhelming aura. Levin felt a sense of suffocation. As expected of the original novel's main character, his presence is truly impressive. Kalian looked at Levin. Aren't you going to take off your helmet? Silver hair shone in the sunlight. I don't want to get entangled with you, but it wouldn't do to be rude. Kalian looked at Levin. Well then, let's begin. Levin pushed a letter to the center of the table. Take a look at this. This is the letter you used to bribe Count Dito. Kalian laughed. You actually found it. Duke, if you're curious about me, you can just ask. I'll tell you anything. Levin's heart sank. Why is he so confident? This letter is enough to destroy him. Levin looked directly at Kalian. Then let me ask one more thing. Besides the Count, do you have other moles in the Hellen Empire? Kalian's smile vanished. That's not a question about me. Kalian's pupils turned red. Alarm bells went off in Levin's head. His eyes turned red. Could this be what Rosalind mentioned? When Kalian is excited or feels murderous intent, his eyes turn red. He has demon blood. If his eyes turn red, I have to be careful. Kalian stood up. He leaned down and gripped Levin's chin. Then how about this? I will answer your question, too. If you agree to become my knight. Levin's heart pounded wildly. The tent flap was thrown open abruptly. A knight rushed in. Your Highness, Your Grace the Duke, please forgive the intrusion. I have an urgent matter to report. Levin jolted. What? I almost agreed. Kalian let go of Levin, a flash of anger in his eyes. I gave a direct order that no one was to interrupt. The knight knelt on one knee. But it's a matter of great importance. Kalian's expression darkened. All right, speak. Your Highness, the 8th Prince. He's on his way here. Levin's pupils constricted. The 8th Prince? Isn't that the original novel's male lead? Shanian? He disappeared. According to the original novel, he should be in a castle in the Bard Empire right now. Kalian's voice came from behind. You're unfazed by my words. It seems you're not interested in that kid. A cruel smile played on Kalian's lips. Hey, for the Duke's sake, be sure to find him and drag him back. Even if you have to break his legs, I don't care. Levin's body stiffened. Break his legs? Kalian's tone was icy. Or kill him, I don't care. The blood in Levin's body seemed to freeze. Kill him? Kalian watched Levin with amusement. What are you thinking, Duke? Your expression is quite interesting. This twisted guy. To treat human life like a game, he's truly a demon. Levin cleared his throat. Crown Prince Kalian, I don't think I can become your knight. My respected majesty is a benevolent person. Hearing this, Kalian burst out laughing. The sound of his laughter filled the tent. Kalian leaned closer to Levin. Your Majesty? That king? Kalian roared with laughter, his voice full of contempt. Levin's thoughts scattered in a golden haze. What was he laughing at? Our Alexius is so benevolent. Kalian reined in his smile. Are you truly naive, or is your emperor just too cunning? Fine, I'll play along. Kalian turned and ordered a knight. I've changed my mind. Don't kill him. The knight bowed and accepted the order. As you command. As you can see, due to our internal problems, the negotiations cannot continue. Well then, we will meet again soon. Levin sat frozen as cold sweat trickled down. He could only watch Kalian's departing back. Everything was ruined. Levin walked out of the tent. The knights came up to him. Duke, did the agreement go smoothly? Levin sighed, but it's been postponed. They said they'll come back later. One knight complained. Those barbarians. I never expected anything from them anyway. Another knight suggested. Then shall we return to the castle now? Levin shook his head. No, we have to find someone first. I remember now. If everything goes according to Rosalind's plan, I'm not supposed to meet Shanian now. But if I leave him alone, who knows what will happen? Therefore, I must find him first. Levin made up his mind. The 8th Prince of the Bard Empire has gone missing here. Search the area immediately and bring him back. Sunlight pierced through the tent, falling on Kalian's face. Kalian clutched his head, covered in cold sweat. His body fell backward, the chair legs scraping harshly against the ground. This borrowed demonic power. I can't control it at all. The demon's blood flowed through his entire body. My mother was once the empress of the empire. She grew tired of the emperor and his countless concubines and was lonely all day long. Then, a demon appeared and seduced my mother. They had an affair, and eventually, I was born from their union. I was born with demon blood flowing in my veins. Kalian's fingers covered his eyes. In the shadows, his red pupils glinted. Fortunately, my mother hid that affair well. Even though I don't have the Emperor's bloodline, unlike my other siblings, I still ascended to the position of Crown Prince. A voice announced from outside the door. Your Highness, he has come in. A robed figure pushed the door open. It was Batu, a black magician under Kalian. Batu uncovered Kalian's hood, trying to suppress that power again. Kalian looked displeased. Batu continued, but Your Highness, that power is a special gift bestowed upon your noble bloodline. Badu opened his hands. Why not just accept it now? Kalian sneered. Noble bloodline? Calling demon blood noble. What a joke. Kalian's eyes sharpened. I'll handle it myself. He turned to Badu. What are you doing here? At the treaty ceremony just now, you felt it, didn't you? A cunning glint flashed in Batu's eyes under his hood. Felt what? The aura of black magic flowing from the Duke. Kalian was stunned. Black magic? You mean the sword master, Duke Levin, used dark power? Kalian suddenly let out a low laugh. He crossed his arms. Duke Levin is truly an interesting person. No wonder I always want to possess him. The scorching sun burned the earth. Shanian stumbled alone in the desert. He missed a step and lost his balance. Shanian fell heavily onto the sand. It hurts so much. He curled up, clutching his throbbing ankle. He must have fallen while running away. The shouts of pursuers came from the distance. The 8th prince is over there. Get him quickly. Break his legs so he can't run again. The pursuers spurred their horses, kicking up dust. Those are my brother Kalian's soldiers. They've already caught up. What do I do? A long whip cut through the air. Shanian squeezed his eyes, shut in fear. Help! Someone save me! The sound of shattering chains rang out. Shanian's eyes flew open. What was that sound? A knight in full armor stood before him, the tip of his sword dripping with blood. The bodies of the pursuers lay behind him. Shanian looked up at the figure. This armor, this aura, could it be Duke Levin? Are you all right, Your Highness? It really is the Duke. The sound I heard earlier. Shanian tried to get up. Thank you. A wave of dizziness washed over him. Why is my head so dizzy? Your Highness. Levin quickly supported him. Shanian's body went limp, and he fainted in Levin's arms. He fainted. Levin held Shanian. Good thing I made it in time. Otherwise, the protagonist of the original novel would have died before the story even began. But now, is it really okay for me to have found Shanian? Rosalind might get angry because I didn't follow the plan. First, let's find a safe place. A few hours later, there should be a cabin around here. Found it. Levin carried Shanian towards the cabin in the woods. Levin gently placed Shanian on the bed. Shanian groaned unconsciously, his brow furrowed. Levin gazed at Shanian's sleeping face. Now I understand why Rosalind likes Shanian the most. As a woman, I have to admit he's breathtakingly beautiful. Shanian shifted in his sleep. It hurts. Levin immediately snapped back to reality. Now is not the time to admire him. His leg is badly injured. Levin tore off a piece of cloth. I have to perform some first aid first. He tied the strip of cloth tightly around Shanian's ankle. Even with treatment, he won't be able to walk for a while. This is tricky. Levin sat down, leaning back. So much has happened in just a few days. I never expected to meet both Kalian and Shanian at the same time. Shanian let out a faint groan on the bed. According to the original plan, I was supposed to meet him in the Nilin Empire. I should keep my helmet on just in case. Levin put on his helmet. What should I do next? I should probably ask Rosalind. I'm sure she can come up with a new plan. Levin's eyelids felt heavy. Why am I so sleepy all of a sudden? No, I can't fall asleep now. Kalian soldiers might still be nearby. What's that sound? Levin was startled awake. Shanian's arms were wrapped around Levin's neck. Your Highness, what is this? Levin tried to break free. Your Highness, please wait. Shanian held on tighter. Please hold me. Please hold me, Duke. Shanian looked up at Levin with dazed eyes. His cheeks were flushed and his eyes were misty. What? Why did he suddenly hug me? I should push him away. Levin looked down and saw Shanian's flushed cheeks. His breathing seemed to have stabilized. Levin placed a hand on Shanian's forehead. The fever has gone down too. My power is being absorbed by Shanian. Is my power healing him? Levin's hand paused on Shanian's head. I don't know what's happening, but I'll just hold him like this for now. Levin's fingers trembled slightly. He held Shanian tightly. This feels a little strange. No, this is to save the world. It's a necessary sacrifice. Sunlight pierced through the forest, illuminating a cabin. Shanian slowly opened his eyes. The surroundings were unfamiliar. Where am I? Shanian sat up, his head throbbing. He heard some sounds. It sounds like, Duke Levin, how did you get here? He saved me when I was being chased by my brother's soldiers. A complete stranger, doing so much for me. He's even stronger and more handsome than the rumors say. Shanian's face grew hot. He seemed to hear his own voice. Hold me. Wait, what is this memory? Duke Levin, please hold me. The memory twisted, and Shanian held his head in his hands, his face bright red. Wait, what on earth happened? What did I do to my savior? I finally met the famous Duke, and I ruined our first meeting. I have to escape before he wakes up. Shanian got out of bed, his body swaying. Levin's eyes snapped open. A pair of gauntlet hands steadied him. Levin grabbed Shanian's arm. Are you all right? Your leg hasn't healed yet. Be careful. Shanian hastily stood firm. Yes. I thought you were asleep. Levin's helmet turned towards him. I just realized I haven't introduced myself. I am Duke Levin de Boven of the Helen Empire. I am. Levin looked directly at Shanian. I know. You are Prince Shanian of the Bard Empire, correct? Shanian clasped his hands to his chest, his face flushing. Ah, yes, I am Shania Bard. The Duke actually knows who I am. Levin's gaze shifted to Shanian's ankle. Your Highness, your injury makes it difficult to move. We should move to a safer location. Levin's gauntlet hand touched his chin. Your current condition does make it difficult to walk. Then, excuse my rudeness. Levin suddenly bent down and swept Shanian up into his arms. The Duke is carrying me. Is this really okay? Levin carried Shanian through the woods towards his horse. This might be the best day of my life. Hoofbeats sounded. A knight shouted, Look, the Duke has returned. You were gone for too long, Your Grace. We were just about to look for you. Another knight's gaze went past Levin and landed on Shanian. Could that be His Highness the Prince? Shanian pulled down his hood. His short, silver-white hair stirred in the wind. His cheeks were flushed. Eum. The three knights froze instantly, hearts appearing in their eyes. So beautiful. The knights whispered among themselves. He's the most beautiful person I've ever seen. Unbelievable. I've never seen such divine beauty. I want to get a closer look at him. Levin abruptly reined in his horse, which neighed. All of you back off. How dare you be so disrespectful in front of the prince? The knights, startled, took a step back. The knights all bowed their heads. We apologize. Levin turned to the knights. Enough. Everyone, send a telegram to the Bard Empire immediately. Tell them the 8th prince is here with me. Levin thought to himself, Rosalind said Shanian likes this kind of scene. That's why I made the scolding a bit more dramatic. Shanian looked up at Levin, his eyes shining with admiration. He really does like it. Although it's embarrassing, I have to do this to score points. I would never normally do this. A soldier stepped forward. Your Grace, in the Count's castle, do we need to prepare a room for His Highness the Prince? Levin ordered the knights. The prince will stay with us. Go set up a tent for him. I can't trust Count Debut. It's dangerous to have Shanian stay with Kalian, so it's better to have him stay with us for a while. However, there's a problem. A knight looked troubled. Because we rushed to the battlefield. We don't have any spare tents right now. Levin froze. What? Then I can't put Shanian in the soldier's tent. Am I supposed to share a tent with him? I can't send him back to the Count's castle. Shanian spoke softly. Your Grace, I could just sleep in the soldier's tent. Levin immediately refused. No, Your Highness. I will personally escort you to my tent. If we stay together, it would be my honor to protect you. Escort the prince to my tent. Levin's internal monologue sounded. What is this dramatic development? Sunlight streamed into the tent. Shanian sat on the bed. So this is Duke Levin's tent. Shanian looked down, his expression downcast. But, since yesterday, I feel like I've been nothing but trouble for the Duke. I want to do something for him. Footsteps were heard outside the tent. Shanian looked up alertly. It's the Duke. Shanian lifted the tent flap. The head of the Hessin family was sweating profusely. Damn it, this isn't a castle. They actually want me to carry water to a tent. Are they crazy? The head of the Hessin family put down the water bucket. I should just report directly to Bard. Shanian watched him. Who is that person in the Duke's tent? The head of the Hessin family grumbled. Damn Duke Levin. Damn it, take this. Shanian lifted the lid and heard the sound of someone spitting. He saw the man's back. He just spat. Is that the Duke's servant? If I were the Duke's servant, I wouldn't do that. Shanian looked at the water in the wooden bucket. A layer of filth was floating in it. He spat in it. This water. The Duke can't use this. What should I do? No, perhaps this is an opportunity. Shanian's eyes became determined. That's right. This is my chance to repay my savior. Shanian picked up the wooden bucket. From now on, I'll be in charge of the Duke's water. Shanian carried the water bucket, walking on a path in the woods. Shanian wiped the sweat from his brow. It's heavier than I thought. He stopped walking. Shanian looked ahead. It's the cabin where I spent the night with the Duke. It's not far from the camp. A voice came from the distance. Your Highness. Shanian's pupils constricted. That voice. Could it be? What are you doing here? Shanian spun around abruptly. It's the Duke. Shanian was flustered. That is. Levin reached out his hand. Give that to me. Levin wiggled his fingers, gesturing for Shanian to hand over the bucket. Levin took the bucket from Shanian's hands. Carrying heavy things will strain your ankle. You still need a rest. Let's go back together. Shanian looked down. Yes, I'm sorry. In the distance, the tents of the military camp were a continuous line under the setting sun. The sound of hoofbeats echoed. Levin led the horse, with Shanian sitting on its back. Let me carry it. What should I do? I've already made a bad first impression. Now he's acted on his own again and completely disappeared. A knight came running. Your Grace, the Duke. Levin turned. What is it? The knight reports. The Crown Prince of Bard has proposed an informal agreement. Shanian's body stiffened. Brother, if I go see him now. Shanian grabbed Levin's arm guard. D-Duke, I'm begging you. Please don't send me back to my brother. Levin looked at him. That's right. Shanian ran away to escape the Crown Prince. Levin spoke. Don't worry. I brought your highness here to protect you. No matter what happens, I will protect you. So don't worry. Levin's hand gently patted Shanian's shoulder. Levin turned. I'll go see the Crown Prince right away. The knight accepted the order. Yes, I understand. Shanian held his shoulder, staring at Levin's departing figure. Duke, in the Bard Empire, I was always ignored. The Duke is the first person to be so good to me. Levin arrived outside a magnificent tent. Your Highness, Duke Levin de Borwin has arrived. A lazy voice came from inside. Comein. Levin walked into the tent. Kalian was holding a glass of red wine. Oh, you're quite polite today, coming without your helmet. Kalian's silk robe was open, revealing the scar on his chest. He raised his glass. Well then, have a seat. Levin sat down. Of course. Levin averted his gaze. What kind of clothes are these? His chest is all exposed. I don't know where to look. Kalian swirled his wine glass. What are you thinking about? Give me the agreement proposal. Let me see. Levin handed over a scroll. Here. A few minutes later, Kalian looked at the document. Article 3 is too disadvantageous for us. So are Articles 3, 5, 7, and 8. It seems Helen is full of robbers. Levin's expression was grave. He's so sharp, he saw through all the deceptive clauses. Those were designed for our side. Kalian changed the subject. However, he picked up the wine bottle and poured red wine into a new glass. The wine was scarlet red. Kalian pushed the glass towards Levin. For every glass of this wine you drink, I'll concede one clause for free. Levin looked at the glass of wine. You want me to drink? I can't just drink it. Who knows what he's done to it? Besides, if I get drunk, the black magic might fail. Kalian rested his chin on his hand, a playful smile on his face. So what do you plan to do? Levin was in a dilemma. As the Duke of the Empire, I can't refuse. He's using this condition to concede the unfair clauses. Levin made up his mind that I'll drink. Levin picked up the glass, the wine sloshing. He downed the wine in one gulp. As I drink, I'll use magic to detoxify it. The next one is Article 14. Then Article 15, Article 16. Half of them are poison pill clauses. Levin's cheeks were flushed and sweat trickled down. That glass of wine, I'll drink it too. Levin downed it again. Wine spilled from the corner of his mouth. Damn it, I have to stay conscious. I'm drinking too fast. My magic can't keep up with the recovery speed. Levin swayed and fell forward. Kalian reached out and caught him. Be careful not to fall and get hurt. When did he get over here? Kalian's finger brushed past Levin's lips. There's a wine stain here. Kalian's fingertip tapped lightly. It matches your red lips. I wonder if they taste as sweet as this wine. Levin's heart raced and his stomach churned. What are you doing? My eyelids are so heavy. Kalian asked softly. What? Ugh, my stomach feels weird. Why are my eyelids so heavy? Kalian looked at Levin's hazy eyes. Haha, are you very sleepy? Then sleep on my lap. Levin pushed him away. No, I'm fine. No, I need to speed up my magic circulation. He tried to channel his magic, but felt a blockage. What's going on? I can't feel my magic. It's like it's blocked by something. Kalian pulled him into his arms. Levin leaned on his shoulder, his body limp. Kalian's pupils contracted. Kalian clenched his jaw, his eyes turning cold. Duke, you may leave. Levin suddenly sobered up. I'm sorry. He broke free from Kalian's embrace. I suddenly hugged a man. Did that make you uncomfortable? Levin's cheeks flushed. Since the negotiations seem to be over, I'll take my leave now. Kalian whispered. Batu, where's the 8th prince now? Batu appeared from the shadows of the tent. Magic energy. Your Highness, what are your orders? I briefly read the Duke's memories. Shanian tried to seduce him. Batu's voice trembled. You read the Duke's thoughts. You're not thinking of killing the prince, are you? A flash of possessiveness appeared in Kalian's eyes. I desire the Duke. So, I have no choice. I must eliminate everyone in the way. Kalian let out a groan. His body trembled uncontrollably. An astonishing evil energy erupted from within him. Batu rushed forward to support him. Your Highness, are you all right? This is Lord Kalian's true power. It's truly awe-inspiring, but he's never released his power like this before. Could it be that Duke Levin is the key to His Highness becoming a true demon? Let's verify it. Your Highness, Batu tried to persuade Kalian. Duke Levin is with the 6th prince. If you kill him now, it will be even harder to win over the Duke. Besides, Duke Levin has said, he admires the Helen Emperor's gentleness. The killing intent in Kalian's eyes faltered. The evil energy in his hand slowly dissipated. You're right. If I kill Shanian, the Duke will hate me. Seeing Kalian's energy subside, Badu revealed a slight smile. As expected, Duke Levin is the key. Suddenly, a knight burst into the tent. Your Highness, the knight looked flustered. Sorry to interrupt. There's an urgent military report. The Cole tribe is marching towards the Bard imperial capital. You must return to your homeland immediately. Kalian looked stunned. What? The Cole tribe? Why so suddenly? He clenched his jaw. This is the Helen Emperor's scheme. He wants to end the war as soon as possible to let Duke Levin go back, saying that cunning man is gentle. How ridiculous. Kalian turned sideways. Batu, have Shanian go to the Helen Empire as a captive to seduce the Emperor. Separate him from the Duke. Kalian added, but you are absolutely forbidden from touching the Duke. As you command. Kalian took a deep breath. We will also return to our homeland immediately. I'm sorry, Your Highness. Bada's lips curled into an eerie smile. For the sake of your awakening, I cannot obey that order. Everything is for Your Highness. Please understand. Under the night sky, the sound of hurried hoofbeats. Damn it, the flow of magic is suddenly blocked. I can't sober up. Now the dark magic has also failed. Levin was flushed and breathing heavily. I have to change back into a man quickly. Levin looked around and spotted a small cabin in the distance. It's the place where I stayed with Shanian before. He pulled the reins. Right, I can't go back to the camp in this state. I can only spend the night there. Levin pushed open the cabin door. I hope no one is around. He stepped inside. His metal boots made a soft clinking sound. Levin closed the door, and the room returned to silence. Levin felt hot. What a mess. It's all Kalian's fault. Forget it. It's rare to be alone, so I'll relax a bit. Acting cool in front of Shanian is too tiring. Levin felt his magic flow gradually stabilize. Is it because I'm not nervous anymore? A powerful blue magic. A light erupted from his body, enveloping him. The long silver hair gradually shortened. He opened his eyes. He had returned to his male form. Luckily, it worked this time, but my magic is still unstable. I can't sober up. Levin sighed. The alcohol is making me tired. I'll sleep for a bit. Anyway, no one will come to a remote place like this. Shanian walked slowly towards the cabin. Ah, I see the cabin. Sharing a tent with the Duke. It's so nice. But the Duke seems uncomfortable because of me. He didn't even take off his armor. I'll sleep here so he can rest comfortably. Shanian pushed open the cabin door. He was suddenly startled. He saw Levin sleeping on the bed. Levin's short silver hair shimmered in the moonlight. His sleeping face was peaceful. Shanian's pupils contracted. Why is the Duke here? Shanian looked at Levin's sleeping face, his own cheeks flushing. The Duke is actually here, and without his helmet. He quietly approached, wanting to get a closer look. The smell of alcohol wafted over. So he's drunk. He probably won't wake up suddenly. Shanian reached out his finger and gently touched Levin's cheek. His skin is so smooth. His heart raced, his cheeks burning. The rumors said he was handsome. They were certainly true. Perhaps beautiful would be a more fitting description. Suddenly, a crisp tapping sound was heard. What was that sound? Shanian whipped his head around. A crow was perched by the window. That crow is Bata's familiar. Your Highness, the 8th Prince. The crow's beak lightly touched Shanian's hood. If you don't want to wake him, please come outside. Shanian's eyes sharpened. He followed the crow out of the cabin. Outside, Bata stood quietly, surrounded by purple magic. Shanian recognized the person. If Kalian's subordinate is here. Bata showed a faint smile. Why are you so afraid? I'm just here to convey Lord Kalian's orders. Shanian calmed down, just as I thought. He clenched his fists. What is it? What orders did my brother give me? Bata's smile turned sinister. His Highness's order is to seduce Duke Levin of the Helen Empire. Shanian's pupils contracted. What? Seduce the Duke? I thought they caught me too. Send me as a captive to the Helen Empire, and then seduce the Emperor to turn him into a tyrant. Batu explain it. The Duke's abilities exceeded expectations, so the plan has changed. We need to bring him to the Bard Empire as a valuable asset. Batu approached Shanian and whispered in his ear. By the way, if you fail, His Highness's life will also be in danger. So please be sure to complete the mission. Bata took a step back, and his figure disappeared into the darkness. Shanian froze on the spot. Seduce the Duke. How can I betray the person who protected me? What should I do now? Sunlight pierced through the forest, landing on a wooden cabin. Levin slowly opened his eyes, his gaze hazy. He stretched his arms over his head. I haven't slept this soundly in a long time. Wait, what time is it? It's morning. He looked out the window at the bright sunlight. How long did I sleep? There's a meeting this morning. I have to put on my armor quickly. And my sword. Levin mounted his horse. All right, time to go back to the camp. He tightened the reins. I wonder if Shanian is all right on his own. But why do I feel so uneasy? Last night, it seems like we were together. He spurred his horse onward. It must have been a drunken illusion. Levin's horse trotted into the camp. The knights immediately came up to him. Ah, that person. Duke, are you all right? You disappeared last night. We were very worried. Levin, wearing his helmet, asked in a deep voice. I was training alone in the mountains and came back late. Levin turned away. Well then, I'm going to the administration building for a work meeting. Are you going to miss this morning's military meeting? Yes, Levin announced. Last night, an agreement was officially signed with Bart. Now prepare to go home. The soldiers erupted in deafening cheers. The soldiers discussed excitedly. Really? The war ended so quickly? The Duke is amazing. A trace of doubt flashed in Levin's eyes. I find it strange, too. Bard approved the agreement in just a few days. Those words lingered. A young messenger stopped Levin. Duke, you're from the Count's family. What's wrong? The messenger leaned close to Levin's helmet and whispered, Miss Demagy wants to see you. Levin nodded. I know. I'll go see her after the meeting. Once I see Demagy, I can finally go home. I miss a white mansion bathed in sunlight. Demagy placed the documents on the table. Duke Levin, this is the evidence of Count Hessen's corruption. Levin took the documents. Thank you, milady. Levin examined the documents, tapping his chin with his fingertip, finding so much evidence in such a short time. Very interesting. I had heard rumors, of course, but her abilities are truly extraordinary. It's a pity women can't inherit titles. She is the perfect candidate for the next lord. Levin looked up at the woman across from him. You've worked hard, Miss Demagy. With this, we can get rid of Hessen while saving the Count. Demagy's cheeks flushed slightly. No, you helped me first. Thank you very much, Duke. Demagy bowed deeply. I will never forget this kindness for the rest of my life. Levin stood up. Milady, this isn't a kindness. I simply discovered your talent and recruited a capable person. Demagy was stunned. What? Demagy's cheeks flushed. Thank you, Duke. She lowered her eyes. Her Highness the Princess is so lucky. Levin raised an eyebrow. What do you mean? Demagy's face turned even redder. To have someone as powerful and reliable as you by her side. Her words sounded like flirting. Levin's gaze sharpened. Wait, could it be? Did Rosalind's training make me more charming? Even Demagy has developed feelings for me. Levin clenched his fist. Then perhaps conquering Shanian will be easy too. Levin's lips curved up. Everything is going smoothly. Perhaps. Shanian climbed onto the horse's back. Duke, I can do it myself. I'm Fine. I can go by myself. Your Highness. Levin was beet red. I can't trouble you anymore. But why does he hate me so much? I thought I was pretty good as Shanian. Hoofbeats echoed across the wilderness. The knights rode through the forest. It's been 2 days. How funny. Levin took out a small yellow pouch. Shanian was startled. This is, Your Highness, please take it. Levin explained. This is a specialty of the Bard Empire. Baribo jelly. You were injured and have been traveling for days. You look tired. I thought something sweet might help you regain some energy. So I brought this. Shanian's cheeks flushed. Igriagis. Thank you. This jelly must be hard to find in the Hellen Empire. The Duke actually brought it especially for me. Shanian put the jelly in his mouth. It's sweet, but even a Duke as kind as him would surely be disappointed if he found out I'm a spy. Levin's voice came from behind. Your Highness, please look ahead. We have arrived in the Hellen Empire. Shanian came to his senses. What did you say? Shanian's eyes widened. The sunlight was blinding. He saw the people welcoming them ahead. The cheers of the crowd could be heard. Duke Levin is back. Thank you, Guardian of the Border. Shanian's gaze passed over the people. Lexia smiled and waved. Levin, welcome back. Over here, over here. The princess beside him smiled like a flower. Congratulations on your victorious return. Shanian's gaze fell on the princess. That must be the Duke's lover, Princess Rosalind. She really is as dazzling as the sun, just like in the rumors. So different from me. A chill seeped through his body, as if being swallowed by darkness. Shanian's breath caught. That person, the Emperor of the Hellen Empire. Lexius Deelen. Lexius's face was expressionless, his eyes cold. But why is he glaring at me like that? I've just returned to the Empire after a triumphant victory. Levin stood alone in the night. Moonlight filled his shoulders. He once again threw himself into the mission of saving the world. Rosalind, do we really have to go this far? Of course we do. Because of you, sister. Our plan was doomed from the start. Shanian can't even eat now and stutters whenever he sees you. Don't you understand? The future of humanity is in our hands. Levin's fingers flipped through the book quickly. Levin suddenly paused. His pupils contracted. How could this be? He whispered in disbelief. Impossible. How could this have happened? Meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace office, Lexius was half naked from the waist up. His short golden hair shone in the light. He spoke nonchalantly. So, Levin is investigating my background. The attendant bowed slightly. Yes, Your Majesty. The Duke's intelligence agents are quite formidable. He seems to be able to get some information. However, we have already destroyed all the evidence, so even the Duke won't be able to find anything. Lexius's fingers tapped the desk. He won't find anything. The attendant's eyes flickered. Lexius clenched his fist. Do you know the reason I've been able to deceive Levin all this time? It's because my dear friend, he trusts me, but now he's starting to suspect me. Even without evidence, this suspicion will continue. The attendant's face paled. Then, what do you plan to do now? A cold smile played on Lexius's lips. I have my own plan, don't worry. Levin has had a soft spot for weak and pitiful things since he was a child. I can use that to my advantage. Prepare the horse. Lexius ran a hand through his golden hair in frustration. I'm going to explain to that soft-hearted guy myself. Everything is for the Empire. A white horse galloped through the curtain of rain. Its hooves shattered the puddles. Lexius dismounted. The rain beat down on his golden hair. He walked straight towards the Duke's mansion. Lexius raised his head. Rainwater streamed down his pale cheeks. He looked utterly wretched, as if he had just been through a catastrophe. Two servants looked on in astonishment. Your Majesty, what brings you here so late at night? Lexius commanded. Take me to see Duke Levin immediately. The servant hurriedly replied. Igriegagis, as you command. The servants whispered among themselves. Why is His Majesty looking for the Duke at this hour, and riding here in such heavy rain? Could it be something big is about to happen? Lexius strode past. Water dripped from his soaked clothes. A knock was heard on the door. Levin's voice was impatient. Didn't I say not to bother me? Levin, it's me. Levin looked up abruptly. Lexius? What are you doing here at this hour? Without even sending a message. And you're completely soaked. Lexius suddenly stepped forward and hugged Levin tightly. Levin's body instantly stiffened. Levin struggled. Wait, Lexius, what is going on? Lexius buried his face in the crook of Levin's neck, murmuring softly. I came to talk to you. Levin's warmth, his breath on my ear, my fingertips on his warm chest. My body feels like it's being pulled by a gentle gravity. I want to feel more. It's driving me crazy. Lexius's voice trembled slightly. I instigated the civil strife in Bard. I thought it was for the Hellen Empire. Levin's pupils shook. Were you suddenly saying Lexius? Lexius's voice was filled with pain. Levin, I truly believed it was for the Empire. But when I think of the people suffering because of me, my heart feels like it's being torn apart. I can't bear it. This is all a lie. In fact, I don't care about the Hellen Empire at all. The only thing I care about is your safety. When that bastard Kalian was hovering around you, I couldn't just stand by. Lexius gazed at him. But if you discovered the darkness in my heart, you would definitely run away from me, right? Lexius's body suddenly went limp, and he collapsed into Levin's arms. Levin's face paled. Lexius, are you all right? He supported Lexius and shouted towards the door. Someone call a doctor quickly. Someone responded in a panic. Igriegagis, right away. I will never let you discover my true feelings. Sunlight filtered through the leaves. Lexius called out softly. Levin. Levin turned his head and made a questioning sound. Lexius gazed at him. If you were a girl, we would definitely get married, right? Levin was slightly startled. I'm not sure. I don't want to be the Empress. That position is too much trouble. Lexius immediately leaned closer. I'll take on all the duties of the Empress. So please reconsider, Levin. Levin looked at his eager face and couldn't help but laugh. What's that supposed to mean? Haha. All right, if I become a girl, I'll reconsider. Lexius's cheeks were flushed, his eyes shining with anticipation. Really? It's a promise. Levin nodded seriously. Okay, a promise. Brother Levin. A girl's voice. Levin heard the call. That voice. Rosalind. Lexius watched Levin turn around. Levin, where are you going? Rosalind came running with a smile. Levin ran towards the girl. The two of them were beaming with happiness. Lexius watched this scene and whispered softly, You look so happy, Levin. But if the person by your side was me? His gaze dimmed. That would be truly wonderful. Lexius, his head resting on Levin's lap, slowly opened his eyes. I fell asleep? Where is this? Levin looked down at him. Lexius, you're awake. You suddenly collapsed and scared me. Levin looked at his soaked clothes. Change your clothes first. You'll get sick sleeping in wet clothes all night. Lexius's cheeks flushed slightly. I'm okay. Being able to see Levin as soon as I open my eyes. It feels so good, Levin said, but my clothes probably won't fit you. Lexius didn't care. It's fine. Levin found it amusing. What a strange person. Levin stood up. Then I'll lend you the dressing room. Go find something that fits. Lexius got up too. Thank you, Levin. Lexius walked towards the dressing room alone. Footsteps echoed in the empty hallway. Lexius closed his eyes and took a deep breath. It's Levin's scent. He looked around. So this is Levin's dressing room. His hand stopped on a piece of clothing. Come to think of it, I've known Levin for a long time. This is the formal wear from the last banquet. This is the outfit from last year's hunting competition. Lexius looked down. But we've never changed clothes together, not even once. Lexius asked, Levin, where are you going? Levin laughed awkwardly. Ahaha, I'm going back to my own tent to change. I have to change my underwear too. Lexius looked at him, confused. You can change here too. Lexius suddenly clenched his fist. What is this? I feel like I missed something. Lexius suddenly stopped. What's that? Levin quickly waved his hands. Lexius, I think there's a misunderstanding. This is... Lexius interrupted him. I am sorry, Levin. Levin froze. Huh? Why the sudden apology? Lexius's eyes darkened. Because I, the emperor, am still not married. And the princess's marriage has been repeatedly postponed. Those clothes, you wear them when you secretly meet Rosalind in the cold palace, don't you? Levin remained silent. So that's what Lexius was thinking. Just by looking at those clothes, it's indeed hard to imagine I'm a woman. That scared me. I thought I'd been found out. I feel bad for making him feel guilty for no reason. Levin lightly patted Lexius's chest. You're the emperor. Of course you have to be cautious about marriage. I couldn't find a better excuse before. Don't worry about me and Rosalind. Besides, you know your sister likes handsome men. More importantly, you're not. Since you're here, stay and have breakfast with me before you go. Lexius was a bit surprised. Breakfast? Levin looked at the morning light outside the window. Yes. If you go back to the palace now, you'll definitely be too busy with work to eat properly. Lexius whispered, I don't really mind, but it feels a bit awkward to just leave the room like this. Lexius was wearing a shirt. His muscle lines were showing. Isn't this shirt a bit small? Levin was stunned for a moment when he saw him, then burst out laughing. Lexius was embarrassed. You're still laughing. Levin tried to hold back his laughter. Sorry, I didn't mean to, haha. Levin patted Lexius's back. I won't make fun of you anymore. At least stay until after we eat. Lexius was silent for a moment. Then I'll go on ahead. Levin turned around, smiling. I'll go get ready. Just grab a robe from the dressing room. Lexius watched his back. Got it. Stop laughing and get out. The door closed gently. You know, Levin, it was a foolish thought, but when I found that robe for a fleeting moment, I thought you might be a woman. Haha. Lexius clutched the robe. If that were true, I would definitely make you my empress. Then I could keep you by my side. Under the sunlight, the imperial palace was bathed in brilliance. The princess suddenly pulled herself together. All right, sister, focus. The mission starts now. Levin was confused. What mission? The princess put her hands on her hips. Stop playing dumb. Because you accidentally bumped into Shanian. All our previous plans were ruined. So I, Rosalind Helen, stayed up all night to create a brand new plan. The princess slammed a thick stack of documents on the table. The plan is called Mission True First Encounter of Shanian and Levin. The princess unfolded a grand blueprint. The paper was filled with complex formulas and charts. Her expression was passionate, like a general commanding a vast army. Levin's body stiffened. I just came to tell Rosalind what happened. But, what mission? Anyway, before we get to the official operation, Lexius came to see you, right? What exactly happened? Well, it's a long story. What? Lexius? The princess suddenly grabbed Levin's collar and shook him frantically. Nothing happened that day, right? You weren't discovered to be a woman, were you? Levin was so dizzy he saw stars. He forced a smile. Really? Nothing happened, just as you said. Lexius did indeed stir up conflict. Levin's gaze darkened, but it was for the sake of the Empire's citizens' choice. He's being tormented by guilt. Rosalind, the Lexius now is different from the original story, so you don't have to worry too much. The princess frowned slightly. All right, since you put it that way. The princess rested her chin on her hand, deep in thought. I'm still a little concerned. Levin laughed awkwardly. Ahaha. The princess slammed the table. What? We have more important things to worry about than Lexius. Rosalind's new plan, to prevent the tragedy of the original story from happening. I want you and Shanian to get closer. Levin froze. Another grand operation is about to begin. But Levin tapped his cheek with a fingertip, looking puzzled. But is this feasible? Shanian seems to be afraid of me. The princess gave a cunning smile. She confidently held up a finger. Don't worry, sister. I have a brilliant plan. A few days later, in the garden of the princess's palace, the sound of a fountain trickled. The princess stood in the sunlight. She smiled brightly, her hand on her chest. It's a pleasure to meet you, Your Highness the 8th Prince. I wanted to meet you for a long time. Shanian lowered his eyes. Shanian blushed slightly. I'm also very happy to meet you, Your Highness the Princess. The princess's heart fluttered. So cute, as expected of the most handsome man in the original story. It's simply a visual feast. No, more like a beauty. The princess extended her hand. Then let's sit down and talk. Shania nodded quickly. Yes. The two sat facing each other in an awkward atmosphere. There was only the light clinking of teacups. The princess cleared her throat. By the way, Your Highness the Prince, do you know about the legendary lake near the Cold Palace? Shanian's hand, holding the teacup, paused. Near the palace where I live? The princess nodded with a smile. Yes, a secret legend known only to the royal family. Shanian's eyes lit up. A secret legend. The princess was inwardly pleased. He took the bait. The princess continued to explain. After the imperial palace was expanded, very few people went there. The lake's name has also been lost, but that place was originally. It was called the Tear of God. Legend has it that on the day of Lunos, God will grant the wish of the one who sheds a sincere tear. On the day of Lunos, when God created the moon, the deity shed a tear at the beauty of creation. The tears gathered to form the lake behind the Cold Palace. Shanian blushed. Wow. The princess smiled brightly. Does Your Highness the Prince have a wish? Shanian stammered, pointing at himself. Do I have one? The princess picked up her teacup. Even if you don't have a wish, the scenery there is spectacular. If you have time, how about going to see the lake on the day of Lunos? The princess calculated inwardly. Shanian is very superstitious. As long as I reveal this much, he'll definitely go to the lake. And then he'll meet Levin, who'll be waiting there. A heart-fluttering lake date is about to unfold. The princess clenched her fists, unable to hide her excitement. Shanian bowed his head in thanks. Thank you for telling me, Your Highness the Princess. The princess couldn't stop smiling. Please be sure to tell me how it goes afterward. God will grant a wish to the one who sheds a sincere tear. A light flickered in Shanian's eyes. My wishes. A few days later, the day of Lunos. Levin leaned against a tree, stunned by the scenery before him. Wow, now I understand why Rosalind chose this place for my first meeting with Shanian. Levin gazed at the sparkling surface of the lake. The water shone like crushed diamonds. So beautiful. A faint sound of footsteps came from behind. Levin whipped his head around. Who? That sound. That person is. Levin spun around. Shanian, he's already here. This is no time to admire the lake view. Levin slowly approached. Prince Shanian. Shanian's body stiffened. Who is it? Levin looked down at Shanian. He placed a hand on his chest and bowed slightly. My first formal greeting to you. Levin's gaze was firm. I am Levin de Beaumont, the Duke. Levin was inwardly ecstatic. The greeting I practiced with Rosalind was a great success. Shanian took a step back, his pupils dilating. Duke Beaumont. Levin prepared for the next step. Now it's time to compliment Shanian's eyes. Shanian's foot slipped, and he lost his balance. He let out a short gasp. His body fell backward. Levin lunged forward. Your Highness the Prince, be careful. He grabbed Shanian's waist, catching him securely in his arms. Shanian opened his eyes, feeling dizzy. What happened? He saw Levin's handsome face just inches away. Levin supported Shanian with a concerned expression. Are you all right? Your foot injury hasn't healed yet. Can you walk? Shanian covered his face with his hands as heat rushed to it. Why is Duke Beaumont here? This is a godsend. No, I've caused trouble again. Levin turned around. I'll escort you back to the palace. Please lean on me. Shanian waved his hands frantically. Aegis. Oh no, I'm fine. Levin looked back at Shanian. You fell because I startled you, didn't you? Please give me a chance to make it up to you. Shanian's face was burning. He said in a low voice, Thank you, Duke. Levin suddenly exerted strength and lifted Shanian onto his back. Shanian let out a gasp. His whole body was pressed against Levin's broad back. Moonlight shone on the quiet lake. Shanian lay on Levin's back, his cheeks burning. I'm so useless, always needing help. It's a rare encounter. I want to say something. Shanian was panicking inwardly. What should I say? I'm so nervous. Levin held Shanian. The date is ruined, and Shanian got hurt. What should I do? After a moment, Shanian spoke softly. Duke, why did you come here? Levin answered in a low voice. I came out for a walk. I have a bit of insomnia. Shanian responded softly. I see. Shanian's gaze became determined. I should be able to cure the Duke's insomnia with my ability. Okay, I'll muster my courage. He gathered his courage and spoke. Duke, that ailment. I think I can cure it. Levin let out a light laugh. Is that so? Haha, thank you for the offer. Shanian added eagerly. I really can. Levin stopped walking. Oh, you have a way to cure this chronic problem? Why? Lexius stood in the shadows. Why are those two here? The new moon was high, and the sky was full of stars. Shanian's residence, the cold palace, stood in the darkness of the night. Steady footsteps echoed. Who could it be at this hour? Levin, carrying Shanian, explained calmly. His Highness was injured at the lake. The male and female servants looked at the newcomer in terror. Duke Bowman. How? Why would the Duke be here? When did His Highness leave the palace? He looked around. A lot was spent on maintenance, but it's not much different from back then. Maya and Rosalind's secret base. Levin spoke in a low voice. Hey, how long are you going to dawdle? The male servant shuddered and quickly bowed. Our deepest apologies. Please leave His Highness to us. Levin's voice rang out. No need, I'll go in myself. Stop muttering and lead the way immediately. The two servants' faces turned pale. The female servant stammered. That is. The two turned and ran. Please forgive us. We'll go tidy the room right away. Levin's voice was icy. Tidy it now? Then what has the room been like all this time? Don't tell me Shanian has been left unattended. My deepest apologies, Your Highness. I should have checked sooner. Shanian suddenly looked up. No, Your Grace. Why would he say something like that? I'm already grateful that someone cares about me like this. In Bart, I was always ignored by my brothers, just because I had no power. That's right, Your Grace has always been helping me. So this time, I want to repay his kindness. Shanian's cheeks flushed. He mustered his courage. Your Grace, if you have time, as a thank you for bringing me back to my room, I'd like to grant one of your wishes. Levin was at a loss for words. What? My wish? Then, Your Grace. He mustered his courage. See, could you come and lie on my bed? Levin's body jolted. Shanian, what's gotten into him all of a sudden? Wait, could it be because of that casual remark I made earlier? Levin shut his eyes tightly, cold sweat beading on his forehead. No, it can't be what I'm thinking. Rosalind did say that Shanian learned the art of night service in Bart, but that must have been an exaggeration. Shanian quickly waved his hands. Please don't misunderstand. That's not what I meant at all. Why you're troubled by insomnia, so I wanted to help. Back in Bart, whether it was a small bird or a puppy, they would quickly fall asleep if I gently stroked them. So I believe I can help you fall asleep too. Levin's gaze sharpened. So that's what he meant. Shanian has this kind of ability? Rosalind's original story never mentioned this. In any case, this is a good opportunity to get closer. Levin showed a slight smile. All right then, I'll be in your care. Shanian's eyes lit up. Yes, please leave it to me. Shanian raised his hand. Then, please excuse me. Shanian's hand gently touched Levin's hair. Their faces drew close. Levin's heart tightened. Too close. Shanian asked softly, How? Does it feel, Your Grace? Levin lowered his eyelids. I feel a little sleepy. That's right. Shanian is a being favored by the gods. The magical power emanating from him is gentle and soothing. It can calm someone as sensitive as me. Levin's consciousness grew hazy. His body lost its strength and slumped forward. Shanian was startled and quickly reached out to support him. Your Grace. Shanian held Levin in his arms. He's lighter than I thought. Your Grace, did you know that a wish offered to the gods will descend as a gift at the most opportune moment? What does that mean? My wish is to become strong and not be swayed by others. So someday, that moment will come for me too, right? Levin's eyelids fluttered slightly. A murmur escaped his lips. Shanian. Shanian's voice came through. Your Grace, you're awake. You slept for a long time. How do you feel? Levin opened his eyes. Wait, I really fell asleep. He gave a wry smile. Well, instead of seducing Shanian, I fell asleep drooling. What a disaster. Rosalind's teachings echoed in his mind. Sister, Tyrant Raising Plan, Chapter 125. After seeing the other person's defenseless state, pretend to be flustered to save face. No, I've received 5 years of elite education from Rosalind. It's time to show my true skills. Levin slowly sat up. Shanian quickly spoke. Your Grace, was my lap uncomfortable for you? You can lie down for a while longer. Idun technique. Perfectly break your composure to show off a dashing charm. Forgive my rudeness, your highness. Levin placed a hand on his forehead. His eyes regained their usual composure. His posture was impeccable. Shanian was taken aback. Your grace. Levin strode forward and knelt on one knee. As a knight, I always repay my debts. So make a wish. I will grant it for you. Levin was secretly pleased. That move just now was pretty cool. Shanian's cheeks flushed as he waved his hands repeatedly. It's all right. I just wanted to grant your wish. So please get up quickly. Levin's plan had failed. This isn't how the script was supposed to go. This time was a precious gift to me. So please let me repay you. Shanian mustered his courage. He looked directly into Levin's eyes. Then, if your grace has time. Shanian's voice held a trace of hesitation. Will you come to my palace again? I can. Levin's lips curved into a smile. Of course. I will wait for your highness to summon me. Levin let out a long sigh of relief. The date was a failure, but I managed to salvage the situation. Inviting me to visit. Does he want to be friends with me? Friend or not, at least our relationship has gotten closer. Footsteps echoed in the hallway. I hid because I heard a sound. That person was really the Duke. I just came to confirm. If Prince Shanian has any connection to Bart, why is Duke Levin with him? If His Majesty finds out about this, the consequences will be unimaginable. Moonlight filled the imperial palace. A subordinate bowed his head to report. The Duke has returned to his mansion after spending the night at the Cold Palace. Please give your orders. The subordinate continued his report. Let's not worry about the Duke for now. The 8th prince is actually from the Bart royal family. Should we increase security at the Cold Palace? Lexius raised a hand to stop him. No need. Lexius's hand clenched suddenly. Levin slept well, didn't he? Then let him be. Lexius sat at his desk. Levin, who hadn't slept peacefully in years, was able to sleep because of Shanian. Lexius held the report. In the end, I am neither Levin's lover nor a friend who can help him. A tear slid down Lexius's cheek. Levin, I just wanted to be the one who could help you sleep peacefully. No one knew that on the day of Lunos, the one who truly shed a tear was not Shanian, the imperial capital of the Bart Empire. The magnificent imperial palace was bathed in sunlight. A scream shattered the tranquility of the palace. Blood splattered on the ornate walls. A body lay in a pool of blood. Kalian looked down at the body. He irritably ran a hand through his hair. So noisy. I'll leave the rest to you. 2 figures in black robes bowed and accepted their orders. Yes, Your Majesty Kalian. Your Majesty, please spare me. Kalian looked down at him, his voice icy. You dare to touch me. The silver-haired man clasped his hands together. Your Majesty, I'll do anything. Just spare my life. He trembled all over, drenched in cold sweat. I'm begging you, Your Majesty. Kalian's gaze suddenly froze. This silver hair, the same hair color as Duke Bowman. The cold face of Levin in his armor flashed through Kalian's mind. Kalian clenched his jaw. Damn it, Your Majesty, what should be done with this traitor? Kalian spoke. His legs are already broken. He can't go anywhere anyway. Just leave him. Kalian turned and left. His footsteps echoed in the air. Why did I think of that guy? What is this feeling of irritation? Kalian's steps suddenly halted. That's right. If I make him mine, keep him by my side forever. Kalian touched his own chin. A twisted smile formed on his lips. Perhaps then I'll understand why I'm so restless. From that day on, Prince Kalian changed completely. My original intention was just to use his desire for Levin to help Kalian awaken as a demon. But I didn't expect him to become so soft-hearted. Batter revealed a sinister smile. It seems I'll have to use that. He took a potion bottle from his cloak. The liquid inside glowed with a pink light. A love potion. If Shanian successfully seduces Levin with this, Kalian will surely be consumed by jealousy and then awaken as a demon. The market of the Hellen Empire. A bright female voice rang out. Shopkeeper, this one, that one, and all of those over there, I'll take them all. The shopkeeper looked at the princess, feeling her extravagance. This young lady is quite the big spender. She must be the daughter of some noble family. The princess laughed heartily. When it comes to spending money, I don't hold back. She turned and hugged Levin's arm. So, brother, can you help me pay? Levin looked stunned. Wait, what do you mean, me? Brother, you didn't even make it to your date with Shanian, and you slept like a log. We need to hurry and buy a gift to win back his heart. The shopkeeper's voice came. Young master, that will be 30 gold coins in total. Levin's mouth twitched slightly. She's right. I am speechless. The princess pulled Levin. All right, the gift is ready. We should proceed to the next step. Levin was confused. The next step? The princess blinked. The plot where Shanian and Lexius develop feelings for each other is coming up. Levin had a realization. It's that court banquet, right? The princess pressed her index finger to her lips. That's right, but unlike the original story, Shanian's leg is injured, so he won't be attending the banquet. Meanwhile, according to our plan, you and Shanian will catch me cheating. The princess's laughter echoed. The kind-hearted Shanian will then come to comfort you, and then you two will naturally fall in love. Hee. Levin forced a stiff smile. Ha. Levin's expression suddenly froze. Wait, I just remembered. You dragged Joseph into this too. The two of you have already colluded. You bribed him to play the role of the person I'm cheating with. About a month ago, Levin clasped his hands together. How about asking Duke Joseph to play the part? Rosalind? That handsome guy? Sure, leave it to me. It's a perfect opportunity to introduce them. The princess was full of confidence. Trust me, everything is under control. Levin looked at the princess. Judging by your reaction, did the plan fail? The princess pouted. I'm still trying to persuade him. It's not a failure yet. Not yet. Excuse me, could I see this? You could be a little more honest with me. The princess was drawn by a familiar voice. The princess looked towards the sound. The expression on her face instantly lit up. Wait, that person is. Rosalind shouted excitedly. Sister, I'll be right there. Levin reached out to grab her. Hey, Rosalind, wait. The bustling Market Street. This might be better. I think this would suit you very well, Your Grace Joseph. Joseph was startled. Your Highness the Princess, what are you doing here? The princess let out a light laugh. Hello, Your Grace Joseph. Are you here to buy a new brooch? The princess picked up an emerald brooch. Then how about this one? Your green eyes are like a mysterious lake. This translucent color would match them well. The brooch swayed gently between her fingers. The green light quietly colored his lapel. Her gaze carried a hint of suggestion. Joseph remained silent, gazing at the princess. Joseph took the emerald brooch. I'll take this one. The princess's voice was cheerful. Your choice is excellent. Joseph cleared his throat. Your Highness the Princess, are you also here to buy jewelry? The princess smiled. No, I just happened to see you. Joseph's face fell. Your joke has gone on for too long. Joseph's gaze was sharp. Don't tell me. You follow me again to make that request? Joseph's voice was low. It's been several weeks, hasn't it? Asking me to pretend to betray Duke Bowman, constantly chasing me to act in this play with you. The princess was startled. How'd he know? She remembered how she had pestered him relentlessly, while Joseph just blushed and refused. This kind of joke is going too far. She stammered in reply. Tea today was really a coincidence. His expression is even worse than usual. I should probably retreat for today. Levin's voice sounded from behind. His gaze then turned to Shannon. Shannon stood alone in the crowd, looking out of place. The guest's whispers were like needles on his back. Is that the 8th Prince of Bahat? As a prisoner of war, even his suit doesn't fit properly. The surrounding chatter was endless. But the rumors are true. He really is beautiful. Levin's brow furrowed. It's not like they're looking at some rare animal. I can't just stand here and watch. The princess told me not to move, but I can't let him be gawked at like an exhibit. Levin's fists clenched slightly. Joseph's pupils contracted. He's going to talk to Prince Shannon. Levin walked through the crowd straight to Shannon. Good evening, Your Highness. Shannon turned his head abruptly. Levin's smile was gentle. Are you all right? Shannon stammered. Why, Your Grace? Levin asked with concern. How is your ankle? Shannon's cheeks flushed. It's much better, thank you. The Duke started a conversation with me. I'm so happy. He looked up, his gaze shy yet sincere. Why, you look even more handsome than usual today. Levin chuckled lightly. Thank you, Your Highness. You as well. In the shadows of the crowd, Viscount Robin watched them quietly. I've had this feeling for a while now. It's like someone is watching me. Viscount Robin held his wine glass, a playful smile on his lips. Shannon's pupils contracted sharply. Viscount Robin, he's been watching me. He's monitoring me to see if I'll use the potion on the Duke. Levin's voice was filled with concern. Your Highness, are you all right? Your complexion suddenly. Shannon's body began to tremble. I have to get away from the Duke quickly. He took a sharp step back and shouted. I'm Fina. Please don't worry about me. I'm sorry, Your Grace. Shannon turned to run away. A crisp sound, a gasp erupted from the crowd. Your Majesty, are you all right? Your clothes are all wet. Pink liquid soaked Lysias's suit. He held up his hand, which had been cut by the glass. I'm Euphina. Lysias's voice was calm. The glass was probably faulty. the 8th Prince of Bahat. So you were here too. It's been a long time. Lysias's voice rang out. May I ask what business you have with our duke? Levin explained. In nothing. Your Majesty, he has nothing to do with me. Lysias looked warily at Levin. Duke. Lysias's gaze hardened. In that case. Lysias's voice became gentle. Your Highness, you still seem unaccustomed to our empire. Shannon lowered his eyes, his lips trembling slightly. Lysias took half a step forward. Since we've met here, this is a good opportunity to solidify the friendship between our empire and the Bahat Empire. What do you think, Your Highness? What? What should I do? Levin watched from the side, his heart sinking. The two male leads from the original novel have finally met. The key turning point of the story has arrived. What if they fall in love, just like in the original novel? Levin's thoughts were a mess. Princess, come back quickly. A clear voice rang out. Oh, my brother. The princess walked over, holding a wine glass and smiling. She moved gracefully through the crowd. Your Grace, Your Highness, why is everyone gathered here? A huge sense of relief washed over Levin. You're finally here. The princess smiled lightly. I like to join in, too. A scream. Pink liquid splashed out. Lysias was startled. What? The wine also splashed onto Shannon's suit. The princess covered her mouth with both hands. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, brother, and Your Highness. I was too excited and my hand slipped. A thought flashed through the princess's mind. Now's the time. Separate them quickly. Levin understood immediately. Princess, you're too amazing. Leave it to me. Levin took a step forward. Your Majesty, I'll take you to the lounge to change. The princess turned to Shannon. Your Highness, please allow me to show you the way as well. It's all up to you now. Good luck. Levin and the princess exchanged a look, giving each other a thumbs up. Inside Lysias's lounge. Lysias, I'll help you pick. Lysias replied. Thank you, Levin. Thanks to Rosalind, we finally separated them. I'll pretend to change clothes to stall for time. Lysias was silent, a thoughtful look in his eyes. Something feels a little off. Levin doesn't usually care about other people. Why is he taking such good care of that 8th prince? Lysias's expression turned grave. It's almost as if he likes that 8th prince. Lysias thought back to the past. Until now, Levin has spent all his time with Rosalind. It turns out, I've been suppressing myself all this time too. His hand tightened abruptly. But if Levin's feelings are changing, does that mean I can finally show him my true feelings? Lysias gazed at Levin. Levin, when we were little, do you remember the rumor that we were dating? Levin chuckled. You mean that rumor? Of course I remember. It was so absurd. Lysias's eyes dimmed. Actually, you avoided me for several months after that. I thought you were angry because of that rumor. Levin immediately retorted. What was there to be angry about? He placed his hand on Lysias's arm. I was just worried I'd cause you trouble. After all, you're the one who will become emperor. Back then, I was very worried. I thought people had found out I was a woman, and that's why that rumor started. That's why I avoided you for a while. Why did you suddenly bring that up? Lysias's hand covered the back of Levin's. I was just... He smiled slightly, a little curious what you would think if we were really a couple like in the rumor. Levin froze. A couple? Levin laughed awkwardly. Don't joke around. How could we possibly be a couple? Lysias stared at him. Why not? Levin looked up at Lysias. Because you're my best friend and my one and only sovereign. Levin gave a bright smile. But why are you suddenly asking this? Lysias looked at his smile. As I thought, Levin doesn't have those kinds of feelings for me. But a glint appeared in Lysias's eyes. Just knowing that Levin isn't opposed to dating men. Just confirming he isn't repulsed by it is already a gain. Lysias's eyes darkened. For now, I'll stay by his side as a good friend. And then, I'll wait for an opportunity. Lysias gazed at Levin. Levin, I don't feel well. I want to go change and rest for a bit. Levin immediately showed concern. Are you sick? Should I stay with you? Lysias gently pushed him away. No, you go back to the banquet first. I'll be fine resting alone for a moment. Wait, I have to stay with you. No, I want to stay with you. The door closed with a soft click. Lysias stood alone behind the door. Levin is completely unaware of my feelings. Even so, as long as I can stay by his side, it's enough. In the princess's lounge, she handed a new suit to Shannon. This is the formal where I had prepared for you, Your Highness the 8th Prince. Shannon held the clothes, his cheeks flushing slightly. The princess continued. I put it away since you weren't attending. I'm glad it could be of use now. The princess recalled the scene in the banquet hall. That's why I was so surprised when Shannon suddenly appeared. My head still feels a little dizzy thinking about it now. Shannon's voice was shy. Thank you, Your Highness. The princess smiled gently. It's my pleasure. Please call me after you've changed. The door closed softly. Shannon stood there quietly, a trace of loneliness in his eyes. What should I do? Viscount Robin must be watching me to see if I use the potion on the Duke at the banquet. The princess leaned against the balcony alone. She sighed deeply. So tiring. The banquet hasn't even started for an hour, yet so much has happened. It's true that misfortunes never come singly. A voice rang out. Your Highness. The princess looked up. A brown-haired man with glasses approached. Oh my, Sir Joseph. Joseph placed a hand on his chest, his posture elegant. Good evening. You suddenly splashed wine on His Majesty and the prince. I was quite startled. He smiled slightly. But that was intentional, wasn't it? You're very quick-witted. Joseph continued. You did very well this time. Thanks to you, we avoided a bigger conflict. The princess put her hands on her hips. That was a stroke of genius on my part. I'm glad you could tell. Joseph changed the subject. More importantly, Your Highness, regarding your request for me to be your scandal partner. If you don't mind, I am willing to be of service. The princess's body stiffened. What? He continued. So for now, about that scandal plan. Joseph turned around. Let's discuss it slowly. The princess's voice was filled with ecstasy. Really, Sir Joseph? You're willing to be my scandal partner? Joseph explained. At first, I couldn't understand your proposal. But seeing the Duke's recent actions, I understand now. This is a plan to get revenge on the Duke by pretending to have an affair. The princess suddenly threw herself into his arms. Thank you, Joseph. Joseph froze. Are you listening to me? Since you agreed so easily, why did you have to play hard to get? A crack appeared on Joseph's glasses. He was completely petrified. How can you just hug someone like that? The princess's plan was a great success. She cheered inwardly. I'm so excited. Meanwhile, Shannon walked out of the changing room. Your Highness? The hallway was empty. Where did she go? Shannon's gaze shifted to the next room. Could she be in that room? The sound of conversation came from the next room. Shannon's footsteps halted. A man's voice. Shannon quickly covered his mouth, his eyes filled with disbelief. The princess is on the balcony. Wait, why am I hiding? I should go out there right now. The princess's voice came through. I have to go find the prince now. Let's meet again in secret next time. Shannon's pupils contracted sharply. Joseph responded softly. I understand. I'll wait for you to contact me. Shannon covered his mouth. What was that just now? They're going to contact each other in secret. Could it be? Her Highness the Princess is betraying the Duke? If the Duke finds out about this, he'll definitely be hurt. Shannon slid weakly to the floor. What should I do? Levin walked alone in the courtyard. I was kicked out by Lysias. What now? I have to find Rosalind and Shannon. I have to stop them from meeting. A scream pierced the night sky. Levin whipped his head around. He heard a gasp. Someone fell. What? That scream. Oh my God! What on earth is going on? The guests gathered, whispering in panic. Someone fell. A figure lay in the bushes. Silver hair was splayed out in the darkness. A trembling voice spoke up. Wait, isn't that the prince from Bahat? I remember him because of his unique hair color. A guest pointed panically at the bushes. Duke Levin, you're just in time. There's someone over there. Levin's gaze passed over the crowd. What happened? It's a horrible sight. Now you have to come with us to the guard station. Get up. The guard roughly grabbed Shannon's arm, yanking him up. Shannon let out a pained groan. Shah! Shannon. The sound of heavy footsteps. Levin strode forward. What are you doing? Levin's hand shot out and grabbed the guard's wrist. How dare you be so disrespectful to the 8th prince? The guard let go. Shannon fell back to the ground. He let out a pained grunt. Levin turned to the onlookers and roared. What are you standing there for? Go get a doctor. Get a healer. Levin held Shannon in his arms. I don't know why he's here, but if he dies here, the entire world will be completely destroyed, just like in the original novel. Sunlight poured down, illuminating Shannon's cold palace. Shannon's eyelids fluttered open. A low groan escaped his lips. Where am I? Shannon propped himself up. Bandages were wrapped around his neck and cheek. This is my room. Wait, why am I here and not at the banquet? His gaze fell on his bandaged leg. His memory started to return. That's right. I was struggling with Viscount Robin, and then I fell from the balcony. 2 days ago, on the night of the banquet, a voice rang out in the courtyard. So you were hiding here, Your Highness the 8th Prince. Shanian took a step back. Viscount Robin. He shrank back into the bushes. Viscount Robin took a step closer. Do you have time to be loitering here? Go find the Duke and use the potion. He tapped his chin with a finger, his posture arrogant. Shanian's gaze darted away. I forgot to bring the potion. So, maybe next time. Viscount Robin chuckled. I knew you'd be like this. Viscount Robin shook the glass bottle in his hand. That's why I specially prepared a spare potion. He smiled. Go find the Duke now. Viscount Robin's hand shot out and grabbed Shanian's arm. Shanian let out a gasp. He struggled. Wait, I'll go by myself. Viscount Robin tightened his grip. No can do. It'll be a problem if you run away. The sound of maids chatting came from a distance. The banquet has started. It's so hot in the palace. Ah, I should go over there and tidy up. Viscount Robin's eyes sharpened. Damn it, it's the maids. If I'm seen with the Prince of Bart. He lowered his voice. Your Highness, be quiet and come with me. As you know, I am a Viscount of the Bordeaux Kingdom. It will be troublesome if I'm seen with you. Shanian's cheeks flushed red. His eyes filled with bewilderment and shame. You are such a rude person. Rumor has it his beauty can shake the continent. He truly is beautiful enough to leave one speechless. He suddenly grabbed Shanian by the throat. Shanian let out a choked gasp. What are you doing? You've learned a few things in the Bard Empire. You exude seductiveness even when just standing still. Viscount Robin lifted Shanian's chin. Prince Shanian, isn't it a waste to show such talent to the Duke alone? He slowly leaned in. How about having some fun with me? A gloved hand went to Shanian's waist. Shanian's body stiffened. How disgusting. I must push him away. Wait, at this distance. A look of determination flashed in Shanian's blue eyes. I can grab the potion and then escape. Shanian's hand moved like lightning, snatching the pink potion bottle. Viscount Robin was caught off guard. He clenched his jaw, his face filled with rage. Viscount Robin shoved Shanian away forcefully. You promiscuous prince. Shanian stumbled backward, letting out a short scream. The railing broke with a crack. Shanian's pupils contracted violently. His body lost its balance. He fell into the night. His arm reached out futilely into the void. Below, the guests' screams were heard. Someone fell. Shanian woke up with a start. Right? The love potion. I must find the love potion that fell on the ground. Otherwise, the Duke will find out everything. Shanian struggled to get up. Two attendants immediately stepped forward to stop him. Your Highness, you can't move. Your Grace, the Duke. The 8th Prince is awake. Quickly, Levin burst through the door. Your Highness, are you all right? Shanian's body swayed. Duke, I have to go out for a moment. Please, Levin's hands tightened. Where do you think you're going in this state? What exactly happened that day? Shanian struggled in Levin's arms. Let me go, Duke. I can't tell him about the potion. He'll despise me. Shanian looked away. Nothing happened. I jumped myself, so please cover this up for me. Levin stared at Shanian. Shanian wants to kill himself. It's exactly the same as the plot in the original story. Can Rosalind and I really not escape the original story no matter what? No, I can't give up yet. Levin turned to the attendants, his expression cold. Everyone get out. The attendants immediately bowed and retreated. Yes, I understand. Levin's hand tightened on his chest. If Shanian dies, everything I cherish will disappear. He turned to Shanian, his voice leaving no room for argument. Your Highness, you're not to leave this place for the time being. Levin held Shanian. He gazed into those azure eyes. I can't let Shanian die. A few days later, the Duke's residence was bathed in sunlight. Whispers echoed in the corridors. Two maids were gossiping. Did you hear? Duke Levin abandoned the princess and is head over heels for a prince from an enemy nation. Yes, they say the Duke is still in the prince's chambers. Levin asked softly, are you uncomfortable anywhere? Shanian forced a smile, which pulled at the bandages on his face. No. Levin sighed. That's good, but you can't get out of bed for now. If you feel uncomfortable in any way, please be sure to tell me. Shanian's cheeks flushed red as he fell into silence. He looked up at Levin. No, as long as you, your Grace, can stay by my side, I am content. A hint of confusion appeared on Levin's face. A knock sounded at the door. Levin turned to the door. Come in. The door creaked as it slowly opened. Two healers walked in. The man in the lead bowed and spoke. I am here to treat the 8th Prince. The young healer behind him tugged at his sleeve. Senior, I'm so scared. I heard the Duke beat a healer to death not long ago. The senior healer scolded in a low voice. Be quiet. The Prince and the Duke are both present. Levin recalled his own roar. The situation was urgent then. I was a bit excessive. If you don't want to die, save the Prince immediately. Levin looked at the healer's nervous expressions. It seems my presence here is making things difficult. He slowly stood up. I'll step out for a moment. Levin walked out of the room. He stood alone in the corridor, looking inside through the glass window. The sound of flapping wings was heard. A pair of white doves landed on Levin's finger. What's that? It's a letter from Rosalind. The other one is probably from Lexius. How should I reply to Lexius? Levin ran a hand through his hair, a low groan escaping him. In his eyes, I'm just a scoundrel who abandoned his sister for an enemy prince. And, outside the golden gates of the Duke's residence, nobles gathered in protest. Shouts erupted from the crowd. "Bring out Duke Levin. We have an urgent request." Levin looked down at the commotion outside the gate. "What should I do with him? Rumors are spreading everywhere. The imperial duke has fallen for an enemy prince." Countless nobles have flocked to the cold palace in protest. The ease of the cold palace were cut by the sounds of voices and wind. Levin's sharp gaze pierced through the agitated crowd. A noble questioned loudly, "Your Grace, you are resigning from your post as commander-in-chief. What is going on?" Levin faced the crowd, his expression calm. "I must take care of the prince. Therefore, I cannot fulfill my duties as commander-in-chief." A noble roared in anger. "His Majesty will not agree to this." Levin's gaze did not waver. "I know. Until the official dismissal, the duties will be temporarily suspended." Another noble stepped forward. "Your Grace, why are you doing this? Do you know how much pain His Majesty is in right now?" Levin remained silent, his expression grim. He took out a letter from his coat. "Give this to His Majesty. This is my resignation." Gasps erupted from the crowd. "Your Grace." Levin held out the resignation, not a trace of hesitation in his eyes. "I trust you will deliver it safely. There's no other way. I know this will hurt you, Lexius, but it's better than the world being destroyed and better than losing you." Footsteps echoed in the corridor. Levin stopped. "Your Highness, you haven't fully recovered yet. Why are you out here?" Shanian looked up abruptly, a flash of surprise in his eyes. "Duke." Levin noticed his thin clothes. "It's cold here." He took off his own outer coat and draped it over the prince's shoulders. "You should go back." The prince lowered his eyes, his cheeks slightly red. Thank you." His fingers tightened on Levin's coat. "Duke, why are you going to such lengths? Why give everything for me? Show me such tenderness." Besides the Duke, he was the princess's lover. A hint of worry showed between Levin's brows. "You look pale. Are you not feeling well? I'll take you back to your bed to rest." Shanian quickly shook his head. "No, I was just..." Shanian's gaze swept past Levin. "It's only now that I've realized. The Duke has been staying in the cold palace recently." Levin's face was etched with fatigue. Shanian's heart sank. His face is so haggard. Shanian's hand unconsciously clutched his clothes. "It must be because he's by my side, unable to eat or sleep properly. Why is he taking care of me to this extent? Is it pity, guilt, sympathy, or love? No, that's impossible. The Duke is the princess's lover, and I am a man, for the Duke who is so gentle to me." Shanian pushed against Levin's chest. "No, I'm fine. I can walk by myself." His eyes became firm, filled with resolve. "You can't have feelings, Shanian. A tainted person like me is not worthy of the Duke." A few days later, in the princess's palace, maids were combing Rosalind's long hair. Whispers flowed through the room. "The Duke is too much. To abandon Her Highness the Princess for an enemy prince. He hasn't left the cold palace since the banquet." Rosalind's fingertips lightly touched a strand of hair. "The Duke must have his reasons. Don't hate him too much. He is, after all, a hero of the Empire." The maids gathered around her, moved. "Your Highness, but I'm still a little disappointed. Could you all leave me alone for a while?" The maids bowed and retreated. "Yes, Your Highness, please rest well." As the footsteps faded, the maids' discussion drifted back. "Her Highness the Princess is so kind. If it were me, I'd curse the Duke for the rest of my life." Rosalind was alone. A slight smile appeared on her face, her eyes holding a vast emptiness. The princess let out a long sigh. Pretending to be pitiful is so tiring. Finally, some space. "Time to go see my dear sister." The princess closed the door, the lock clicking softly. The princess undid her long hair, quickly changing into a simple maid's uniform. Then she put on a hood, disguise complete. She picked up a picnic basket, a confident smile playing on her lips. "After all, my sister can't live without me." The cold palace. Night enveloped the magnificent building, lonely and cold. Levin stood by the bed, looking down at the sleeping Shanian. Levin's hand gently caressed Shanian's forehead. "Good, the fever has subsided." More importantly, Levin's gaze darkened as Adam's apple bob. "I'm so hungry." Shanian throws up at the smell of food. "So, Your Grace, you should eat something first." "I'll be fine." Shanian weakly gestured for Levin to eat first. Levin stared at his haggard reflection in the mirror. "I've also only had cookies and tea for days. I'm a sword master. Of course, I won't collapse from staying up all night and starving for a few days. But as a Korean, I feel weak all over without a hot meal. A knock came from outside the door. Your Grace, someone from the Duke's residence is here. Levin replied wearily. Let them in. The door opened. A hooded figure walked in. It was the princess, disguised as a maid. The princess folded her hands in front of her. Duke Levin, I brought you some clean clothes. This voice, this face. Levin's eyes widened. Could it be Rosalind? The princess winked playfully. Did you miss me, sister? Levin was confused. How did you get into the cold palace? The princess smiled smugly. I've been very free lately. Everyone thinks I was abandoned by you, sister. I have a lot of free time, so no one is paying attention to me. I guess you'd be stubbornly watching over Shanian without eating, so I came. The princess stuffed a bun into Levin's mouth. Levin chewed while mumbling his thanks. Rosalind, you're the best. Thank you so much. Don't thank me just yet, because I brought you so many delicious things. The princess spread a picnic blanket on the floor, covered with food. Sandwiches, fruits, and all sorts of pastries. Levin covered his mouth with both hands, his eyes glistening with tears. Rosalind, tell me, you're trying so hard to play the role of a devoted lover to seduce Shanian, right? Seduce Shanian? A cunning glint flashed in the princess's eyes. That's right. Now that we're sure Shanian likes you, what's the biggest obstacle preventing him from getting close to you? Your lover. Isn't that you? That's right. The princess put a small cookie into Levin's mouth. You just keep doing what you're doing. Then it's time to stop the heartache and quickly advance the princess's lover plan. Levin asked in confusion. What should I do then? You just keep getting close to Shanian like you are now. If you're with the princess, but also show affection and guilt towards Shanian, the effect will be doubled when my scandal is exposed. The princess clenched her fists, her eyes shining with excitement. I've already sent people to scout out Joseph. Levin was stunned. This scene feels familiar. The princess instructed Levin. Once Shanian's health improves, give me a signal. I'll invite him to the palace. Levin nodded obediently. Okay, I understand. The princess gripped her knife and fork, her eyes burning with determination. All right, let's do our best. Levin also silently clenched his fist. Let's do our best. After eating his fill, Levin returned to the room. He patted his stomach contentedly. Thank goodness Rosalind came. Shanian sat weakly on the bed. Your Grace, where did you go? You were gone when I woke up. Levin approached. I was feeling stiff, so I went for a walk. Are you all right, Your Highness? Shanian nodded. I'm fine, but you're the one who's not feeling well. Shanian lowered his eyelids. Your Grace, if you don't mind, let me give you a massage. I studied it for a few years in the Bard Empire. Levin was taken aback. A massage, all of a sudden? This is a good opportunity to get closer to Shanian. I should accept. A hint of anticipation appeared on Levin's face. Then I'll be in your care. Shanian's eyes lit up. Yes, yes, of course. Shanian moved behind Levin, placing his hands on his shoulders. Shanian began to knead. How do you feel, Your Grace? Levin closed his eyes. Very comfortable. Here it comes again. My body is reacting to Shanian's scent. No, if I fall asleep here, I'll miss the chance to get closer. Levin's body went limp, and he fell helplessly into Shanian's arms. Shanian looked at Levin in his arms. Duke, has he fallen asleep? Shanian's hand gently stroked Levin's hair. Your Grace, you know, this detestable ability of mine was originally only for nighttime service. Shanian let Levin lie on his lap, gazing at him tenderly. Thanks to you, I've come to like it for the first time. Meanwhile, at the Imperial Palace training grounds, the clang of swords cut through the night sky. Lexius was covered in sweat, panting heavily. Damn it, you're actually resigning as commander-in-chief. Levin, are you insane? Lexius roared, his sword slicing through the air. The you I know wouldn't do this. Have you really fallen in love with that prince? I thought I knew you best, Levin. But now, all I see is a side of you I don't recognize. Levin, no matter why you've changed, I will get to the bottom of this. An attendant approached. Your Majesty. Lexius didn't turn around. What is it? The attendant bowed and reported. While investigating the Bart Prince's suicide attempt, we found this. The attendant opened a box. Inside was a small bottle glowing with a pink light. Lexius's pupils contracted. What is this? A few days later, in the cold palace, attendants surrounded Shanian, showing him two magnificent outfits. Eighth Prince, what do you think of this one? Your Highness, this one also suits you very well. Shanian tapped his chin, looking troubled. I don't know which one is better for the tea party. What about this one? Shanian nodded. That one is nice too. Today is the day Rosalind and Joseph make their move. Shanian's body has also recovered a lot. He should still be resting quietly, but a little activity should be fine. You've worked hard, Your Highness. Shanian took a breath, his cheeks slightly red. I'm recovering quickly because Your Grace, have been by my side. The attendants bowed and took their leave. Then I'll be going first. Levin immediately stood up. I'll see you to the door. The door closed softly. Levin walked to the balcony. A pair of white doves landed on his arm. Now that Shanian's health has improved, we can start the operation. Levin tied a letter to the dove's leg. Take this letter and deliver it to Princess Rosalind's palace. The dove flapped its wings and flew into the sky. All right, the plan to make Rosalind cheat officially begins. Now I just have to wait for a signal. Everything is going according to plan. The tea party invitation for Shanian has arrived. I was preparing to go to the princess's palace with Shanian, but Shanian appeared before Levin, dressed in a magnificent and elaborate black formal suit. Your Grace. Shanian folded his hands in front of him, his cheeks flushed. How do I look? The maid said I should dress like this for such an occasion. A hint of unease was in Shanian's eyes. Is it too extravagant? Levin was stunned. Shanian, don't tell me you plan to use this outfit to go to some other event and then ask me for a favor? Levin and Shanian arrived at the princess's palace. Helping Shanian choose an outfit was exhausting. Shanian looked around. There's so few people here. Levin explained softly. Because Her Highness the Princess is very humble and usually keeps only a few attendants. Shanian had a sudden realization. I see. How could the princess's palace be so empty? Rosalind must have sent everyone away in advance. After all, the Duke is having an affair with the prince, and the princess has found a new lover. Such a scandal will be very troublesome if it got out. What are you doing? Hurry up and take your clothes off down to your shoulders. Levin looked towards the empty palace, his gaze locking onto the third-floor balcony. What's wrong, Your Grace? Levin shook his head. It's nothing. Suddenly, the sound of an argument came from upstairs. Your Highness, this is too much. How can you be so uncooperative? Rosalind's voice rang out. It has to be a bit more dramatic to be fun. Wait, Shanian is still here. Levin and Shanian froze simultaneously. What did they just hear? That voice. It's Rosalind and Joseph. Levin's face turned pale. What are those two doing in there? Shanian was also stunned. Your Grace, it seems Her Highness the Princess has already arrived. It's over, completely over. This isn't cheating. This is a public brawl in front of Shanian. Levin threw the door open. Your Highness, I'm coming in. Inside the door, the princess was held in Joseph's arms. The princess called out softly, Duke Levin. Shanian and Levin stood at the door, completely petrified. Shanian covered his mouth in shock. Princess. The princess looked at the two people at the door. Oh my. Levin, on the other hand, was staring daggers at that Joseph. That bastard. That wolf-like bastard. How dare he touch my Rosalind? The princess shot Levin a look. Sister, you can go now. Leave this to us. Aren't you overacting a bit? Levin turned around. Prince Shanian, I apologize. I'll be taking my leave first. Shanian anxiously tugged on Levin's sleeve. Your Grace, it's like watching my own family make out in the front row. I never want to experience this again. Shanian trembled. Your Grace, that was the first time I saw the Duke with that kind of expression. The princess looked at the dumbfounded Shanian. Our appointed time was now. Shanian's voice trembled. Princess, please explain what is going on. The princess covered her mouth and chuckled lightly. My apologies, Your Highness. I remember the time for the tea party incorrectly. Shanian was flustered. The Duke saw it too. He clearly left without seeing anything. The princess questioned, So what? Are you not surprised? The princess looked innocent. Why should I be surprised? Shanian raised his voice. Of course, because you two are lovers. The princess picked up the red wine on the table and poured a glass. The princess raised her wine glass. The Duke already knew. Shanian froze on the spot. What? The princess took a light sip of red wine. Actually, the Duke has known about my affairs for a long time and has been turning a blind eye. Now, as long as you keep your mouth shut, I will also turn a blind eye to your affairs. Shanian was in disbelief. My affairs? What exactly are you referring to? The princess's gaze swept over Shanian. Anything you do to the Duke, I will pretend not to have seen or heard. So you can enjoy him to your heart's content. Just return him when you're tired of playing. Shanian gasped, treating a person like an object. Anger flared in Shanian's eyes. I never thought you were this kind of person, Your Highness. Shanian turned to leave, his eyes filled with contempt. Your Highness, you are truly the worst kind of person. After Shanian left, Joseph took off his glasses and wiped the sweat from his forehead. Was that all right? The princess clapped her hands excitedly. Yes, Mr. Joseph, it was perfect. Shanian rushed out of the palace. Where is the Duke? I have to find the Duke quickly. Shanian ran wildly down the long corridor, his footsteps echoing in the empty palace. Shanian rushed into the garden. What's that sound? He followed the sound. Ah, the Duke is right there. Prince Shanian was dispatched by the Bart royal family to become a spy on the condition of providing nighttime services. Furthermore, he used a love potion on Duke Levin. Viscount Robin pointed at him. There, he's here. Isn't that right, Prince Shanian? Didn't the Bart royal family order you to seek out Duke Levin? Levin turned around and looked at Shanian in shock. What should I do? Shanian's pupils constricted in fear. The Duke. He found out everything. Levin walked alone down the corridor. That scene was too realistic. Levin shuddered. I never want to experience something like that again. The laughter of guests was heard. Congratulations on your engagement. You're a match made in heaven. Levin stopped in his tracks. Right, today is the engagement banquet. Lexius has always hated noisy events. Why would he agree to hold a banquet at the imperial palace? The emperor is personally hosting the banquet. This is too unusual. Lexius didn't even send me an invitation. He must be furious. I betrayed him and resigned from my post as commander-in-chief. But I had no choice. Once I succeed in preventing the end of the world, I will explain everything. Just a little longer. A commotion came from the crowd. A noble declared loudly, "This is slander. To say I harassed the 8th prince is pure slander." Levin spun around abruptly. What? What is going on? A guard stepped forward. Viscount, you are accused of harassing His Highness the 8th prince. On that day, someone witnessed you with the 8th prince. It was just a chance encounter. The guard coldly pushed him away. Save the rest for the interrogation room. The Viscount's voice echoed in the banquet hall. This is absurd. The 8th prince is just someone who received education in nighttime service at the Bard Imperial Palace. So what if someone like that fell? Why are you doing this to me? The Viscount's gaze swept across the crowd. Besides, the prince was originally ordered by the Bart royal family to seduce Duke Levin. Why is Helen protecting someone like that? The Viscount's finger shot out, pointing into the crowd. He's over there. Prince Shanian, please tell me, were you not ordered by the Bart royal family to seduce Duke Levin? Shanian's pupils contracted violently. That. Levin lunged forward. Levin grabbed the Viscount by the collar. Duke Levin, your grace, you've come at the right time. The Viscount's voice was filled with malice. Were you also deceived by that prince who pretends to be pure? He's someone who received promiscuous education every night in the Bard Empire. Shanian's pupils widened in shock. He turned and fled. Levin yanked the Viscount up by his collar. His eyes were ice cold. I knew all of this already, so shut your mouth. Heavy rain poured down, washing over the imperial palace gardens. Shanian's footsteps were frantic, without the slightest pause. He heard it. Shanian gasped for breath. The Duke. He heard it. He heard everything. He fell heavily to the ground, mud staining his white robes. Since the Duke knows everything, does that mean he knows I was a hostage in the Bard Empire? Knows I was supposed to become a male prostitute? Will the Duke also think I'm promiscuous, just like everyone else? No, I don't want that. I must find the love potion first, then destroy the evidence, and then explain that I didn't use it. But the fact that I am a tainted person will not change. The Duke will no longer want someone like me. Footsteps echoed in the rain. A pair of exquisite leather shoes stopped in front of him. A gentle voice was heard. Your Highness, you'll catch a cold like this. Levin stood there, draping a coat over him. Shanian looked up, his eyes filled with tears. Duke, Levin reached out to shield him from the rain. What are you doing here? I've been looking everywhere for you. Levin took Shanian's hand. Let's go back to the cold palace together. Shanian snatched his hand back. No, don't touch me. Shanian took a step back. I'm sorry, but Duke, you must already know, if you get involved with someone like me, you'll also be considered a tainted person. Levin reached out and held Shanian's shoulders. You are not tainted at all. Tears glistened in Shanian's eyes. Really? Levin's gaze was firm. Yes, of course. Then, Shanian's fingers gently brushed against Levin's cheek. Even so, am I still not unclean? Yes, even so. A few hours later, in the cold palace, an attendant exclaimed, Prince Shanian and Duke Levin, why are you both soaked? Quickly, raise the temperature in the cold palace. Shanian let out a big sneeze. Levin immediately gave an order. The prince was caught in the rain and has a fever. Prepare a bath and a healer. The attendant bowed and accepted the order. Yes, your grace. Shanian called out softly. Duke, today, really? Thank you. It's nothing. I just did what I had to do. Shanian rested his head on Levin's chest, his body burning with fever. I really like you very much, Duke. Levin froze instantly. Huh? Wait a minute. What did he just say? Levin remained frozen. He seems to be delirious from the fever. But I've just been confessed to. Levin's mind went blank. Then the plan can be considered a success. I can celebrate. The princess's voice echoed in her mind. Calm down. With Shanian's personality, he won't date you unless I break up with him. Why do you think I joined the breakup plan? Levin came back to her senses. I only learned how to seduce Shanian. What should I do now? The princess's voice echoed again. She wasn't listening at all. Of course, I'm just an excuse for her plan. The secret interrogation room in the palace basement. The iron door made a heavy sound. The Viscount sat in the cold cell, catching his breath. In the end, I still got thrown into the interrogation room. Damn it, the Viscount's eyes flickered. However, the Emperor of the Hellen Empire has always been known for his mercy. As long as I behave, I should be able to get out soon. The cell door opened and Lexius walked in. The Viscount looked up. Emperor, your majesty. Lexius threw a bottle of pink potion in front of the Viscount. Tell me what this is. The Viscount trembled all over. That is. Lexius's voice was calm and cold. I don't kill easily, but if you test my patience, I will make you beg me to kill you like a dog. Lexius's eyes sharpened. Don't waste my time. Speak. He's completely different from the rumors. The Viscount clasped his hands, his voice trembling. That prince. He received that kind of training in Bart from the very beginning. The Viscount's voice grew quieter. And that potion, it's an aphrodisiac. He must have used that bottle on the Duke. Lexius clenched the aphrodisiac in his hand. That 8th prince, how dare he? How dare he do this to Levin? The sound of water sloshed in the bathtub. The golden faucet was still running. Levin leaned against the edge of the tub and let out a long sigh. Levin dried her body. As expected, I'm still not used to it. Bathing anywhere other than the ducal manor always feels uncomfortable. Someone could walk in at any moment. Of course, I've already ordered that no one is to enter. Levin recalled ordering her maids in her own territory. I like to bathe alone. No one is allowed to come in. Levin closed her eyes. For nobles, it's common to have maids help with bathing. But every time, it makes me so nervous, afraid someone will come in. It feels like it's taking 10 years off my life. I specifically chose the most remote bathroom in the cold palace. Levin's gaze fell on an ornate glass bottle. What kind of oil is this? I've never seen it before. The maids must have brought it. This color is so ugly. I don't want to use it all. Where on earth did they buy this kind of thing? Levin sighed. It's too much trouble to ask them to get another bottle. I'll just use this. She poured the oil into her hand and applied it to her body. Levin put on her bathrobe and let out a long sigh. So refreshing. Levin walked towards the mirror. What is this? Levin's fingers touched her neck. A red rash was clearly visible. Hives. Could be that oil. Levin's gaze returned to the bottle of oil. I knew something was wrong. A duke getting hives. How embarrassing. Levin pressed her neck. No, if the dark magic gets out of control, it'll be a huge hassle. I just want to leave the best impression on Shanian. The door suddenly opened. Shanian walked in. Ah, Duke. Levin turned around. Prince Shanian, why have you come on such a cold day? Shanian's face flushed. I turned on the heating, but it's still a bit cold with the rain outside. I wanted to bring you a blanket and pick you up. Levin looked at him. Is that so? Put the blanket in my room. Let's go back together. Shanian blushed slightly. Oh, okay. Levin looked at the blanket in Shanian's arms. What is this? Is he waiting for my praise? Shanian said in a small voice. Thank you for coming to get me. Being able to spend a little more time with your highness makes me very happy. Shanian's face instantly turned bright red. Really? Levin looked at Shanian. He's like a cute little brother, and also like a small puppy. The two walked down the empty corridor. Their footsteps intertwined and echoed. Shanian's laughter was crisp. The corners of Levin's mouth also turned up slightly. The atmosphere between them was harmonious. Suddenly, an attendant ran over with a panicked expression. Duke Levin. The attendant was panting. The palace guards are here. The main gates of the palace swung open. A troop of guards in full armor strode in. Levin's expression darkened instantly. That sword. It's the palace guard. What's going on? Levin stood in front of Shanian. Hey, what is this disrespectful behavior? Duke. The lead knight's tone was icy. Duke, this is his majesty's order. The guard's voice boomed in the vast hall. Shanian, the 8th prince of the Bard Empire, is to be arrested and interrogated on suspicion of using a forbidden substance on Duke Levin. The guard's order was not to be questioned, so please hand over the 8th prince. What? The guard looked at Levin in astonishment. Levin grabbed the guard's breastplate and yanked him close. The sound of a sword being drawn rang out. Levin drew the sword from the guard's waist. Levin gripped the hilt. "This is my answer." Shanian looked up, his cheeks flushed. "Duke." Footsteps approached from a distance. An authoritative voice rang out. "Everyone, stand down." Lexia strode over and stopped in front of Levin. "Duke, that's enough." There was not a trace of warmth in Lexius's voice. "Associating with someone unworthy of your status will only bring disaster. The rash on your neck is the proof." Lexius continued, "A sword master who has never even caught a cold. How could you have such a strong reaction to a cheap item?" Levin stared blankly at Lexius. "What?" Shanian's voice trembled. "Duke, is this really because of me?" Levin gently stroked Shanian's head. "It's all right, Your Highness. It's just a small rash. But His Majesty and I have urgent matters to discuss. Could you please excuse us for a moment?" Lexius's gaze was like a torch. "My business has nothing to do with the Duke. I'm looking for the 8th prince." Levin shielded Shanian. "Your Majesty, please wait. Talk to me first." Levin's voice dropped low. "Lexius, I'm begging you." Lexius let out a long sigh. Sunlight streamed through the arched window. "I will interrogate Shanian on the charge of seducing a noble under the orders of a royal family." Levin tried to explain. "Lexius, I think you've misunderstood." Lexius cut her off. "Misunderstood?" Lexius's voice was filled with rage. "I saw with my own eyes how you were treated here. And you call this a misunderstanding?" "No, that was really the first time." Lexius roared. "In a banquet hall, he dared to shake off your hand in public, causing you to lose face. How can I tolerate that? I don't care how soundly he makes you sleep." Levin was completely confused. "Sleep? What do you mean?" Lexius spread his hands, his eyes cold. "In any case, I'm not doing this for you. Shanian was ordered by the Bart royal family to seduce you. I must interrogate him. I will send this prince back to Bart and make you return to your old self, Levin." Levin's thoughts raced. He'll be sent back to Bart, but there's endless internal strife there over the throne. If he's sent back, he'll definitely be killed by Kalian. Levin's voice was filled with pleading. "Lexius, I'm begging you. If His Highness dies, I will die too. So please, stop interfering in my affairs." Lexius flinched violently. Lexius was in disbelief. "How could you say something like that? Without you, At the end of the corridor, Shanian's body froze. "What? Impossible." The way the Emperor just looked at the Duke. His gaze, his tone, everything. Could it be? He's in love with the Duke. He's looking this way. Shanian hid behind a pillar. "What should I do?" Unlike the flawless Emperor, if he wants to take the Duke away from me, what should I do? The night in the cold palace was pitch black. Shanian lay in bed and called out softly, "Duke, you are His Majesty's knight, right?" Levin opened her eyes. "Yes, that's right." Shanian leaned forward slightly. "Then, does that mean you belong to His Majesty?" Levin reached out and gently stroked Shanian's hair. "The questions you're asking tonight are very strange." Levin's voice was gentle and steady. "Of course, I belong to Your Highness." Shanian gazed at Levin. "The Duke?" "Yes, the Duke is mine." Levin yawned. "I'm getting sleepy again by Your Highness's side. But the Princess and the Emperor both want the Duke. Then the Duke can rest on me." A blue light flickered in Levin's eyes. "I prefer it this way." Levin's voice was very soft. "Then I'll just lean for a little while." Levin's head rested gently on Shanian's shoulder. "I'll hide the Duke. Hide him where no one can see. This way, no one can steal him away anymore." Shanian called out softly, "Duke, you said you were mine. You must keep your promise." The morning sun streamed into the magnificent bedroom, illuminating every corner. Shanian was sleeping soundly. Levin watched him quietly. Shanian's head was pillowed on Levin's shoulder. "Duke Levin." A blue light flickered in Shanian's eyes, his voice tinged with vulnerability. "You won't abandon me, right?" Levin was slightly taken aback. "I'm sorry. What's come over you all of a sudden?" He must have been scared after seeing Lexius just now. Shanian's cheeks flushed. "Because Levin looked bewildered. "What is Shanian muttering about?" "Never mind. I'll just reassure him first." Levin reached out and gently stroked Shanian's hair. "Yes, I will not abandon Your Highness." Shanian thought to himself, "I like the Duke far more than I like His Majesty the Emperor. Please abandon the Emperor and look only at me." On the third day, Levin crossed her arms. "That's how it was last night. After this, Rosalind will probably send Shanian back to his country and then prevent the end of the world." Levin looked at Shanian. "I'm starting to sympathize with Shanian more and more. So please, when the time comes, just get tired of me." "Sorry, Shanian." After Lexius and Levin's conversation in the cold palace, a new rumor began to spread throughout the empire. The shield of the empire, Duke Levin, has betrayed the emperor for Prince Shanian. Levin wearily pushed open the door and let out a long sigh. The princess's voice rang in Levin's mind. Sister, you had a fight with Lexius. The nobles are discussing whether to side with you or the emperor. Levin sighed. A quarrel between friends has turned into a power struggle. Really, this is why it's best for people to live a quiet life. Anyway, I've been very busy lately. Levin looked at the mountain of letters. I brought so many back, and there's still a mountain in the office. Levin's gaze fell on a letter. All right, come to think of it, I also received a letter from Lexius. The familiar red-sealed envelope lay quietly on the table. Levin picked up the letter and broke the seal. The paper unfolded in her hands. Lexius wrote in the letter. The Viscount was ordered to give Shanian a strange drug, but he said nothing about who the mastermind is. Levin's expression darkened. I should ask Shanian directly. Levin's fingers tapped on the desk. No, with his personality, he definitely won't say anything. Even that Viscount kept his mouth shut during the interrogation. It's even less likely that Shanian will talk. Levin sighed. Looks like I'll have to investigate it myself. Levin continued to flip through the letters. Let's see if there are any other clues. What's this? Levin's gaze froze on a line of text. The Viscount molested Shanian. Levin's face instantly flushed red, burning with anger. Molested? She slammed the letter on the table with a loud bang. What bastard? I won't let him get away with it. I'll beat him up at least 3 more times. Levin stormed towards the dungeon, her footsteps echoing in the stone corridor. Your Grace, you can't go in. Just for a moment. The knight's attitude was firm. By imperial order, you cannot interrogate him in secret right now. Levin's anger was ignited. Is the Duke's word a joke in your eyes? Just because I left the post of commander-in-chief, you look down on me? Wait, something's not right. Purple dark magic energy. Why is it coming from inside? I can't feel the presence of dark magic anymore. The guard shouted in fear. Your Grace, what are you doing? You can't defy an imperial order. Levin ignored the knight's warning. Are you sure the Viscount is inside? The guard stammered in reply. Yes, of course. Levin strode forward and kicked open the dungeon door. The door slammed against the stone wall. The dungeon was empty. Only a pair of broken shackles lay on the cold stone floor. The Viscount was gone. The guard stood stunned. How could this happen? Levin's expression was grim. The royal family's security has been breached. Levin ordered the guard. Immediately notify the captain of the Imperial Guard. Sound the alarm and protect His Majesty. The knight bowed and accepted the order. Yes, Your Grace. Levin clenched her fists. I was only gone for a moment, and the palace's defenses were breached. Saving the world is important, of course. But for the sake of the Empire, for the safety of Lexius and Shanian, Levin put on a blue cloak. I must return to the position of commander-in-chief. So she requested reinstatement from Lexius. Lexius readily agreed. The sound of horse hooves echoed across the square in front of the palace. The rumors of our discord were thus quelled. Levin reined in her horse. Where's the next place to search? A knight replied, Commander-in-Chief. It's the manor in Fasten County. Levin ordered, go and request their assistance. First, we must capture that Viscount and find out who the mastermind is. To do that, I have no choice but to search everyone as if catching rats. Levin knocked on a door. Anyone home? A voice came from inside the door. Yes, Levin said to the guard in full armor. We need to conduct a simple inquiry. A man inside the door spoke with an arrogant tone. Do you know this is the residence of Count Fasten? Levin replied calmly. Yes, I know. 2 men behind the door were flustered. Ah, Duke Levin. The men whispered to each other. So the rumor is true. The Viscount molested the prince. Duke Levin is frantically hunting for the Viscount, planning to beat him to death. Hey, I can hear you talking from here. Levin closed her eyes, a vein throbbing on her forehead. Sigh. When this is all over, it's probably going to be very difficult to clear up these misunderstandings. At dawn, crows cawed in the city. A cloaked figure appeared on the empty street. It was Lexius. I must find the Viscount. If the 8th prince dies. Levin's voice echoed in Lexius's mind. I will die too. Lexius. Lexius stopped in his tracks and muttered to himself. Levin. He slowly removed his hood. Your Majesty, your cloak. Your Majesty, the person you're looking for, we will find him for you. So please. Lexius spoke calmly. I'm not looking for him. Lexius smiled slightly. I am merely announcing to the world that I am looking for someone. The knight asked, puzzled. Announcing to whom? Your Majesty? Lexius gazed into the distance. To the one who can break all curses. I'm talking about the great magician Cliff. The great magician Cliff. Lexius's tone was certain. That's right. If it's him, Lexius's eyes sharpened. He will surely be able to see through the nature of the dark magic on Levin in an instant. A stream of blue magical energy shot up into the sky, circling above a cabin in the woods. Crows shrieked in the night sky. Duke Levin has completely fallen for the 8th prince. It turns out that dull-witted prince is useful after all. I never expected things to progress so smoothly. And if I'm not mistaken, that Duke, she definitely that is affected by dark magic. But Levin is a swordmaster. Why would she use dark magic? Could it be that she willingly accepted dark magic just to hide some secret? It seems further investigation is needed to make perfect use of this Duke. A burst of purple dark magic energy erupted, forming a pair of giant wings that unfurled in the darkness. The magical energy dissipated, transforming into a black crow that flew towards the gloomy sky. The crow circled in the air, letting out a series of caws, casting a shadow over the forest below. Night fell. It circled above a magnificent castle, letting out an ominous cry. A blood-curdling scream tore through the darkness. I should go take a bath. He swore not to kill anymore. He chopped off people's wrists and ankles. Levin, dressed in armor, looked weary. Someone like me is not worthy of being the crown prince's knight. He was probably thinking of Duke Levin. If this continues, the gate to the demon world will open in half a century. My master, Kalian, is the last remaining demon bloodline on this land. He is the only hope. Only he can open the gate to the demon world with his powerful magic. But he is currently resisting his own magic. So as long as I can quickly make Kalian fall deeper for the Duke, he will awaken his magic, even if it means taking her by force. As a demon, Kalian cannot survive in this land where gods exist. In the end, Kalian will have no choice but to open the gate to the demon world. Therefore, for this plan to succeed, I must quickly investigate more about the Duke. In a castle under the night sky, a voice was calling out, "Magician! Magician, where are you? What is it?" The man saw who it was. "Ah, magician, you're here." He took out a bottle. "Is this the thing you mentioned before? This is a dark item." "Well done. You may leave." The guard took his leave. Dark items are ineffective against people with strong mental fortitude. The same goes for those who can wield magic. But when the Duke's dark magic is dispelled due to a great shock, she will be temporarily unable to use magic. If I use this dark item to control the Duke, a smile appeared on Bada's lips. The Duke will become Kalian's sacrifice and plaything. Everything is going so smoothly. The day the Duke falls into my hands is not far off. He opened the potion bottle. But to do that, first, I must dispel the Duke's dark magic, and then go to Helen. A man muttered in a low voice, "Your Majesty, you can't drink like this. At least have some appetizers." Lexius let out a soft snort. "You're finally here." Lexius took a sip of wine. Lexius was hazy with drunkenness. "Godfather." The man looked confused. "What, Your Majesty? You've had too much to drink." "I am your shadow." Lexius smiled and leaned closer. "Your disguise is a bit sloppy. My loyal subordinates don't sit next to me." "Ah, is that so?" And I was so confident in my disguise magic. A golden, sacred light erupted. Lexius's figure was enveloped in the light. A silver-haired elder appeared in the light. He stroked his chin with interest. "You're indeed my godson. There's only one reason you'd seek me out with that frantic look in your eyes. Is it because of that child?" Lexius remained silent, just staring at his wine glass. "You know me too well." Lexius raised his head, his eyes earnest. "Godfather, please help Levin. I believe only you can save her." The elder closed his eyes with a look of resignation. "I hate seeing you grovel like this. It's beneath him. Speak. What help do you need?" Lexius replied, "You must have already heard the rumors about Levin falling in love with a foreign prince." Lexius placed a purple potion bottle on the table. "I believe that Prince used this potion on Levin." The elder took the bottle and sniffed it lightly. This should be a potion that throws the user's emotions into chaos." The elder examined the liquid in the bottle. "It was made by one of my 2 disciples. Not many people can create such a potion. Belmont and Batu. From the looks of it, it should be Batu's work. I thought that bastard Batu was already dead. Could he still be alive?" The elder asked. "Where's that child, Levin, now?" Lexius stood up. "Come with me. I will guide you." "Why did you turn into a cat?" The gray cat asked. "Aren't I already dead to the outside world?" "This is to avoid unnecessary trouble." The elder transformed into a white cat and walked with elegant steps. "By the way, since you like that child Levin so much, why don't you let her be with Rosalind?" "That's because I love Levin very much." You're hopeless." Lexius chuckled lightly. "If you fell in love with someone, Godfather, you would be just like me. Yes, even if I succeed in restoring you, you will go back to being Rosalind's lover. But that's okay. Even if you don't love me, even if you love someone else, I want you to have the love of your own choosing. Levin walked slowly alone. I'm a little tired. Levin stroked her chin. I almost forgot. Shanian is a talent specially cultivated by the Bart royal family. A talent for carrying out a honey trap. Time rewinds a few hours. Shanian's face was flushed. Duke, can you not leave on such a cold day? Levin moved Shanian's hand away. Sorry, I have an urgent mission, but it's not even light out yet. Shanian tried to persuade him softly. Duke, you don't have to hunt down Viscount Robin for me anymore. Shanian's fingers lightly touched Levin's cheek. So please give all your time to me. Please stay by my side. Your Highness, I will focus on accompanying you after I return. For now, please. Duke, Shanian spread his hands. I understand. Then I wish you a safe journey. The atmosphere when Shanian touched my cheek wasn't a bit strange. Levin let out a soft sigh. Still, I feel a little sorry for Shanian. But for now, I can focus on Viscount Robin's case. Because this case has too many suspicious points. A knight shouted in panic. How could I be lying down in front of someone as noble as you? Levin questioned the knight. You pretended to escort the Viscount and took him out of the palace. There were witnesses who saw you, don't you remember? The knight hastily explained. Yes, I really don't remember anything. I only remember a black snake biting my arm. I desperately tried to pull it off. When I opened my eyes, I was already in the palace. Really? Levin turned to leave. I will include this in the investigation. The knight repeatedly thanked him. Yes, thank you, Your Grace. According to his statement, he seems to have been hit by magic or a curse. I know nothing about this area. If I go to the Mage Tower, maybe I can find something out. A white cat walked over gracefully. Meow. Levin was surprised. They raise cats in the palace too? The white cat crouched in the bushes. Meow. Lexius wouldn't raise a cat. I should probably take it out of the palace first. Levin smiled and extended his hand. Here, kitty kitty. The white cat suddenly bristled, hissing threateningly, and lunged to scratch Levin's hand. Levin pulled back his hand in pain. Oof, what a feisty cat. So this child is Levin. The white cat licked its paw. This magical power. He's under a rather complex dark magic. This isn't something like a love potion. Could it be that this child is a woman? Whom should I tell Lexius about this? Hey, you can't just scratch anyone besides me. No, for this child to become like this, she must have her own reasons. In any case, this is perfect. I can entrust my nephew to this child. The white cat left with a light pace. Levin watched the white cat. Where are you going? You can't run around in the palace. Levin muttered to himself. I have to follow it and lead it out of the palace. Levin followed the white cat. Just go straight this way, little kitty. Lexius. Lexius was lying in a flower bed. The white cat was meowing beside him. Levin walked up to Lexius. Lexius, why did you drink so much? You'll catch a cold sleeping here like this. The white cat rubbed against Lexius. Meow, that's right. Levin touched Lexius's hair. Goodness, how much did you drink? Lexius slowly opened his eyes. Levin looked at him. Honestly, this emperor is hopeless. Golden light streamed through the door, filling the room. Levin sat by the bed. Lexius and the people in the palace are truly hopeless. An old attendant whispered to Levin, His Majesty has been very sensitive lately. If you help him change, he will sleep more soundly. Levin looked troubled. But I still have to go to the Mage Tower. The attendant handed him Lexius's clothes. Levin was forced to take them. Thinking back, I've seen Lexius drunk a lot recently. Has he been so anxious lately because of me? Levin unbuttoned Lexius's shirt. If this is a dream, I'd better pray I don't wake him up. Levin's movement stopped. A pair of hands suddenly grabbed Levin's wrists. Wait, Lexius flipped over and pinned Levin beneath him. Lexius! Levin gasped. Lexius looked down at Levin. Levin was flustered. Wait, Lexius, you're too drunk. Sober up, okay? Lexius, what's wrong with him? Why doesn't he recognize me? He's getting closer. A white cat descended from the sky, landing heavily on Lexius's head. Levin, where did this cat fly in from? To be able to jump from so high. Could it be? Papers flew everywhere. My documents. Goodness, I have to organize them all over again. Lexius rubbed his head. He looked at his open shirt. It wasn't a dream. Lexius apologized profusely. Levin, I'm sorry. I was drunk and not in my right mind. Levin organized the documents on the table. He laughed awkwardly. It's fine, this kind of thing happens. Ah, these are important documents. Levin picked up a document. This is the Viscount's secret interrogation report. I was just about to go to the mage tower to ask about it. Lexius picked up a document. I know a very skilled mage in this field nearby. I just received news that he's in the area. I'll send him over. Levin asked in pleasant surprise, what really? Levin breathed a sigh of relief. That's great. You saved me. A brilliant smile appeared on Levin's face. Lexius looked at him. Levin is even cuter when he smiles. Lexius feigned calmness. It's nothing. Just let me know if you need anything. The white cat peeked out from behind Lexius. That bastard. How dare he sell me out? The palace under the sun, majestic and magnificent. A figure stepped into the main hall. Footsteps. The elder sighed lightly. Acting is so tiring. I just want to go to the mage tower and handle my own business. Dark matter. The elder explained. Yes, dark matter is a substance primarily used by demons. It's also often called parasitic matter. It can be transported anywhere and remotely control a target while parasitizing it. If that thing really exists, it's only a matter of time before the palace's defenses are breached. I must capture the user at any cost. Lexius, even if I am your godfather, how can I just control someone else's destiny? However, until that child's dark magic is lifted, you will only continue to suffer. A knight captain ordered loudly. Surround this place. He must be nearby. Search the surroundings. Another knight responded. There's nothing here. You go check over there. Viscount Robin hid behind a tree. He clenched his jaw. Damn it. The entire area is full of Imperial knights. I was clearly still in the palace's secret interrogation room. Why am I suddenly being chased by knights on the street? But this is to my advantage. Viscount Robin looked around. Sunlight shone on a row of country villas. If I remember correctly, this place is the border of the Bard Empire. A cold smile appeared on Viscount Robin's lips. No matter how elite the knights of the Bard Empire are, they wouldn't dare cross the border. I just need to escape to Bard. The shouts of knights came from a distance. Get him, he's over there. Viscount Robin whipped his head around. What persistent bastards. Bada's figure appeared. Purple magical energy flowed around him. What stubborn guys. I've already run so far. They usually would have given up by now. It seems that Swordmaster Duke is determined to catch me. Just as Viscount Robin was about to run, his legs gave out. Ugh. The knights surrounded him. The Viscount's movements are strange. Wait, what the hell? The knight captain was unfazed. Doesn't matter. The order is to capture him alive. A knight clutched his throat in pain. Ugh, ugh. Bada watched all this, a cold smile on his lips. The more bait, the better. A knight asked in surprise, what is this? Another knight was confused. Weren't we supposed to capture him before he crossed the border? Yeah, but he's already crossed. Serves the Bowen Knights right. Bada's eyes were cold, but this much bait isn't enough to lure out the Duke. Very well, this time I'll aim for the person the Duke is most attached to. The 8th Prince. Levin sat at his desk, confused. What? 2 Bowen Knights have been detained in Bard. What does this mean? The knight continued to report. While capturing Viscount Robin, they showed abnormal symptoms. Then they crossed the Bard border with him. It's that dark matter the Godfather mentioned. The Viscount is one thing, but even the Bowen Knights are affected. Levin stood up. I understand. I'll go myself. The knight was surprised. Your Grace, is that all? You're not going to punish us for our knights deserting? Yes, unless. Levin's gaze became sharp. Is there anything else you want to say to me? The knight took a step back in fear. No, nothing, Your Grace. I'll take my leave now. Levin ordered. If anyone else shows similar symptoms or claims memory loss, report to me immediately. The knight saluted. Yes, Your Grace. Levin ran a hand through his hair in frustration. This is a headache. If this continues, the entire palace's intelligence network will be compromised. Seriously, why go through all this trouble? What do they want? First, I need to strengthen the security at Lexius's and Rosalind's palaces. Levin flipped through a document. I also need to conduct a full inspection of the food and supplies for Shanian's palace. Wait, if they also use dark matter on Viscount Robin. Levin's expression darkened. Is Shanian still safe? The door was thrown open. A knight rushed in. Your Grace, urgent news. The knight reported, out of breath. A servant in the Cold Palace has no memory of what happened today, just like the other incidents. The Cold Palace. Levin shoved the door open. Prince Shanian. Shanian was lying on the bed, his face pale. His fever is getting higher. What on earth is going on? Please forgive us. He suddenly collapsed. We can't find the cause of the fever, nor can we treat it. Levin shouted. What? The head, maid trembled. Please forgive me, your grace. I was organizing the storage room, and when I came to, I was already in His Highness's room. I really don't remember how I got here. I'm so sorry. Cold sweat beaded on Levin's forehead. Now I understand. The reason they went to such lengths to disrupt the palace. Viscount Robin's true identity, the Bowen Knights being detained in Bart, and now Shanian. All of this is not only related to dark matter, but also closely linked to Bart. Shanian called out weakly, Your Grace, could it be? They wanted to go to Bart? Levin's gaze became determined. He requested His Majesty to summon a mage to my territory. Levin and a mage stood by Shanian. Levin asked with a grave expression, What do you think? The mage's brow was furrowed. The situation is serious. The mage straightened up and turned to Levin. His Highness the Prince has been invaded by demonic energy. Demonic energy? Shanian gasped painfully on the bed. The concentration of demonic energy is high. If he isn't treated, he won't last long. Levin asked urgently, Then what should we do? How can we cure His Highness? A glint of green light flashed in the mage's eyes. Have you heard of the Akel tribe near the Lectus region? A giant tree of life grows in their territory. This is the crystal of the tree of life, and it's the only thing that can dispel demonic energy. The mage continued to explain. The crystals under the tree of life have the power to purify or absorb demonic energy. As long as one of these crystals is placed on His Highness the Prince, the crystal's power will naturally heal him. The mage's tone shifted. But, Duke Bowen, the Lectus region is the most dangerous place on the entire continent for you. And now, with the palace in turmoil both inside and out because of these incidents, there is no one left to protect His Highness. Levin's hand was on Shanian's head. No one will volunteer to accompany you for a foreign prince. Shanian. Levin's voice was low. I know. This means I have no choice but to go alone. The mage watched Levin's back, his gaze meaningful. The palace dome stood tall under the cloudy sky. Bart Empire. Kalian sat on the throne. He rested his head on his hand. So you're telling me Duke Bowen and the 8th Prince are especially close? He even sent his own knights all the way to the border just to catch the prince's assassin. A knight in full armor knelt before the throne. He trembled all over, sweat dripping from his temple. Kalian slammed his fist on the armrest with a loud bang. My dear brother really has some tricks up his sleeve. He dares to defy the crown prince's orders and approach the duke instead. Hey, go get the sword I used to use. The knight responded in terror. Why, yes, your majesty. A murderous glint flashed in Kalian's eyes. It seems we can have a little hunt tonight. The magnificent palace bathed in sunlight. Report finished. Levin crossed his arms. Understood. You may leave. The knight turned and left. Levin walked towards the tightly shut door. Very well. I've already reached a secret agreement with Lord Barwood. All preparations are in place. Strictly speaking, the preparations are not yet fully complete. Now all that's left is to report to Lexius that I'm going to Barwood. But with Lexius's personality, he'll definitely refuse. Levin touched his chin, lost in thought. How should I persuade him? All right, I still have that thing. Levin's hand reached for a drawer and gently pulled it open. Levin revealed a slight smile. Found it. I knew I put it here. Levin held up a gorgeous golden box. Let me see. The box was opened. How nostalgic. Rosalind wanted me to play the part of a paranoid tyrant and cleared out all my things. Levin closed his eyes in resignation. Luckily, I hid one thing. Levin rummaged in the box. It should be in here. He smiled. Found it. The wish coupon. A yellowed slip of paper glowed between Levin's fingers. On it was written, Unconditional Forgiveness. This was a birthday present I gave to Lexius when we were kids. Lexius felt it was embarrassing for just one person to have it, so we tore it in half. Levin looked at the half slip of paper in his hand. This isn't a problem that can be solved with childhood memories, but I'm not in a position to be picky right now. Levin's lips curved upwards. Let's go. Time to report to Lexius. The palace shone under the sun. Lexius sat at his desk, flipping through documents. Go and then come back. Levin stood to the side, a look of astonishment on his face. Catch the person manipulating the dark matter, and also find the antidote for the 8th Prince. Lexius announced calmly, Go. I will send guards to accompany you. What? If I'd known it would be this easy, I worried for nothing. I even dug out that so-called trump card. Levin bowed his head in thanks. Understood. Thank you for allowing me to do this, Lexius. But I'm not in a position to complain. If the Bart royal family finds out about this, it could escalate into an international dispute. Lexius nodded. Yes. Levin looked at Lexius. He agreed without saying a word. This is too unusual. But he's not going to read all the documents on the spot, is he? Lexius flipped through the documents. I slipped the wish coupon inside. If Lexius sees it, I'll look like a sentimental fool holding onto a childhood memento. Lexius put down the documents. If there's nothing else, you may go. Levin reached for the documents. No, I wanted to ask. Can I take them after you've finished reading? Lexius pressed his hand on the documents. No, I might need to look at them again later. It's just a copy anyway. Levin froze, right? Lexius rested his chin on one hand. What? Did you forget something? And no. Anyway, you've already agreed, right? Levin turned. Then I'll be going. I don't know what to do. I should disappear quickly before he finds out. Lexius sat at the desk. He rested his chin on one hand. Have a safe trip, Levin. Lexius quietly looked at the wish coupon. An unconditional forgiveness coupon. Lexius's fingers stroked the slip of paper. What did you remember? What did you forget to tell me? You care so much about that child that you're sending him to such a dangerous place. Because it concerns a prince, right? If it were Levin who was suffering, I would also risk my own life. Lexius's hand pressed down on the documents. To the current Levin, the 8th prince is that kind of person. This is why I hope to avoid getting involved in human affairs. That Levin, that child, is under a dark magic curse. If he goes to Barwood, where the water of life comes from, the curse might be lifted. Lexius turned his head in shock. What do you mean? This concerns his life, and a secret that will follow him for the rest of his life. If others find out, things could get even worse. So you should go with Levin. Lexius's expression became stern. Levin is in danger? Bart Empire Imperial Palace. The magnificent palace bathed in sunlight. The water rippled gently. Kalian was soaking in a bath. He let out a long breath. A servant knelt by the pool, holding a bath towel. He was trembling. Kalian, your royal highness. Kalian opened his eyes. The servant's voice was tearful. We were ordered to serve you. Kalian's pupils suddenly contracted. Huh, what? Kalian pinched the servant's chin. The servant yelped. I don't know which bastard came up with this idea. They don't even understand my tastes. Kalian's fingers tightened. Speak. Who sent you? The servant stammered. That. Go back and relay this message. Listen carefully. I'm not interested in men, especially not fakes. Kalian shoved the servant away. The servant let out a muffled grunt. Kalian looked at him with disgust. Get out, go, and please someone else. The servant bowed in terror. Thank you for your mercy, your majesty. Kalian walked barefoot on the cold tiles. Strange, I'm clearly not into men. Then why is Duke Bowen an exception? Before I met Levin, I just wanted to make him my knight. Levin's face appeared in Kalian's mind. Is it because of his face, as pretty as a woman's? If he knelt before me, and looked up at me with that face. A smile played on Kalian's lips. He let out a soft chuckle. I'll find out when I get him. The palace glittered under the sun. The princess lay with her head on Levin's lap. She crunched on a snack. But you know, you're really amazing. What? I'm talking about you clearing the Renault family's name. It made me realize you're not just an empty name. I've only ever seen your silly side, so I never noticed. But you look pretty cool when you're working like this. Levin looked down at her. You're probably the only one in the Empire who would call me silly. The princess's lips curved up slightly. That's because I'm one of a kind. The princess looked at the empty snack box. Looks like I finished all the snacks. The princess pointed to a distant shelf. I still have some snacks on that shelf over there. Levin turned. Yes, coming right up. Well, little devil. She orders me around like a butler. Levin walked to the shelf. The shelf was filled with exquisite tea sets and candy jars. Aren't you thirsty? Want some milk? No, I'm fine. Levin held a teacup and looked at the reclining princess. Didn't I tell you not to eat while lying down? What's wrong? You look pale. Is your stomach upset? The princess moved her book aside. That's not the problem. It's just that no matter how many times I read the report, I still have no clue. The princess placed her hand on her forehead. Who did it? No matter how I try to recall the original story, I can't think of anyone suspicious. The princess looked at Levin. So, about that matter, can't we just go and ask Shawnee directly? Levin shook his head. No, his health is already poor. What if this puts stress on him? But Levin put down the teacup. Besides, I'm the one going to Barwood. I'll handle it. I just need to catch that Viscount and interrogate him secretly. Shawnee grabbed Levin's sleeve. You can't go. Shanian's voice was tearful. Last time you said you'd be back soon, but you came home so late. I was very sick. I was just waiting for you to come back, Your Grace. Levin's face showed a hint of difficulty. I'm sorry, Your Highness. I will go to Barwood and make sure to bring back your antidote. So, Shanian's fingers tightened. You didn't just see her, did you? Levin was taken aback. What? Shanian's cheeks flushed. You just saw the princess, didn't you? Last time you were late because you saw her too. Are you going